let me say, I was so upset and angered at all of the things that I saw black men saying about black women in that live. Not only was I mad about it, but it's not even like it was surprising, but I was super mad. Thank you so much, Orion. I was and thanks so much, Supervillain and Recession Hottie. Um, I was more upset that they let white tea men and white tea Hispanics come in there and bash black women. That's what really pissed me off. Let me see. Y'all said it's cut off. Let me see if I do it a different way y'all can see it. Because from my eyes, I can see it. I'm tired of seeing these lives over and over and over and over again about black women and what black women do wrong and how black women are the worst of the worst of the worst. But none of these black men ever take the time to ever talk about their faults, the things that they do. The only thing they sit there and talk about is black women's hair. Their hair, their hair, their hair, their hair, their hair. Let me see if I can change it to a different way that you guys can see it. Let's see. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that now? Let me know if y'all can see it fully now. I switched it. But yeah, like I was saying, it's very upsetting to me because they have all of these things to say about black women and what they do. Y'all still can't see it fully? I wonder what's going on, why y'all can't see it. Because from my eyes, I can see it. Let me see. Let me try another one. Let's see. Well, see, I only got 3. The grid, the fixed grid, and the panel. Now, can y'all see that fully? Y'all said y'all can see this one fully, but it's just small. Y'all might have to screenshot it, and then that might help. Okay. So anyway, my thing is that what I really wanted to talk about today is black men and their inability to see their own faults. If the worst thing that you have to say about black women, hey, how you doing, Nay? Is the worst thing that you have to say about black women is that you don't like the way they wear their hair, or you feel like they have self-hatred because of weaves or whatever you want to call it. That's way better than being known as violent, abusive, broke baby mama makers. It's crazy to me. And so from now on, every time I've decided to do a new segment on my lives, and I'm going to at least do it once or twice a week, where anytime I see black men talk about black women in this way, I'm going to make a response live that talks about them in the same manner. Except the difference is that I will be speaking on things that are true. I will be speaking on things that actually really affect the black community as opposed to things that don't. Because in what world does black women wearing weaves, wigs, lashes, nails, in what world does that ruin the black community? I can tell you what does ruin the black community though. What ruins the black community is men making baby mamas, men being DL, and having intercourse with women and infecting them with diseases, giving them the package. What affects the black community is men everywhere in the black community selling hard candies and illegal substances and destroying and tearing down our community. What affects the black community is black men and their lack of education and their piss poor literacy rates and their incarceration rates and their internalized self-hatred and their hatred of everything that makes them, their blackness. Those things are ruining the black community. But wigs, weaves, lashes, nails are not destroying the black community. If people talk about black women and the obesity rates and overweight rates and all of these things, is that affecting the black community? No. So let's just talk about these things today about black men. So today I want to talk about why black men are you so behind other races of men financially? Why are you still the brokest? Huh? Why are you the least employed race of male in the United States? Yet your women, black women, work the most out of all demographics. Please tell me why. Tell me why. And also, I want to know, why do black men have such low racial self-esteem? Do you see any other race of men bashing their women publicly and inviting other men of other communities to bash their women? Do you see that anywhere? Do you see Arab men? Do you see Asian men? Do you see white tea men? Do you see any of these men saying, oh, wow, these race of people are better than my own people? They look so much better. Their hair looks so much better. Their skin looks so much better. They just are better all around. Do you see any other race of men do that except for black men? Exactly. So, what do you think that means? It means that black men, the collective of black men, have low racial self esteem. And I would love to hear why. Why? Since we want to talk about weave, and we want to talk about wigs, and we want to talk about lashes, why are black men the only ones that praise other races publicly over their own? Over their own mamas, over their own self. They'll come on panels and engage in all type of coonery and talk about how much better other races are than them, their mothers, their daddies, their sons. Why is that, please? And why are y'all so broke? Why are black men so broke? Why don't y'all have no money? Why are y'all the only ones proud enough to say, I want my woman to go 50-50 and work hard and raise the kids and come home and do all the housework? Why? Ugh. Go ahead, Supervillain. I'm sorry. That live really triggered me, man. Made me so upset.
I'm just gonna say this: always a disappointment, but never a surprise. It's disgusting that black men engage in that type of behavior just among themselves, but to do it with other groups of men, other races, other cultures of men is really insane. I sometimes think, man, what would it look like? They don't realize how dumb they look. Like they're laughing at a joke and they don't realize they're part of the joke, that they're the butt of the joke. Could you imagine if the J-ish people were up here chucking and jiving the men with the schnazzies? Yeah, they would look absolutely. We would be like, what the hell are y'all doing? They don't realize that's exactly how they look. It's crazy how they're the most desirable, but nobody's running around here looking for, by and large, the black men with non-black mothers. The black men that are so-called desirable, they mothers are the nappy-headed ones who wear the wigs and weave and all the shit they complain about. So y'all gonna have to pick a struggle. Either y'all the most desirable because of black women, or y'all not, and black women are weaves and my thing is we've dispelled this so many times that every single other race of culture of women also wear beauty adornments, whether it come in the form of makeup, hair. I mean, some cultures get their whole body done, but for some reason, a removable wig is destroying a community. I don't understand why. These men are so nonsensical, and it hurts Trig because I have to recognize that it takes a black man and a black woman to make a beautiful black person. But at this point, I'm even giving up on the melanin because I just if this is what we have to go through to continue the melanin, we might as well just not have it anymore. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna yield for the Nigna because I already know what time it is, and we need some answers.
All right. I got you. I appreciate you so much. Miss Supervillain, you know it's always love. I wanted to respond to Dark Smile in the comments. Dark Smile, I see your question. I'm not even going to repeat it so that people don't see it and hear it when I upload this to YouTube. I want you to come up in the box and ask me that. But before I answer your question, I'd like you to answer mine, which is the prompt. Yes, and if you don't have that, I'll give you like 30 seconds to accept my request. And if you don't, I'll just block you. Okay? Yeah. So let me go over here to Mr. No Good. Go ahead, sir. You have the if you can answer the prompt for me, that would be great.
Hey, how everybody doing? Why are black men so behind other races of men financially? And why do black men have such low racial self-esteem? I'm gonna combine both. This is just my personal opinion. I feel that other races didn't have to endure as much as we did, physically and emotionally. Like right now, we're still getting the aftermath of our ancestors and what we're currently going through. You know what I'm saying? And it varies per person. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a collective thing, which it can be. But just to answer the question, I just don't think that. When it comes to us, I think we've been triangulated so much that we don't even trust ourselves. We don't trust our people.
He must have got a phone call. I was gonna answer. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Oh, my bad, my bad. What was the last thing you heard?
You said that we've been triangulated not to trust our people. I think it was something of that nature.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. So we've been triangulated so much that we can't even trust ourselves. We don't trust our women. We don't trust our peers. So to my understanding, I just think it's a collective thing that we have to you know what I'm saying, come up to surpass.
Okay, so I have a question for you. And do you give the same grace that you give black men for being financially behind and having low racial self-esteem to black women?
For sure, for sure.
Okay, all right, I got it. I appreciate you, Mr. No Good. Yeah, I'm looking for men that want to come up and actually talk about. Not that I had any problem with what Mr. No Good said, but I find that the grace that is given black men that are or the grace that black men also are freely able to give black men for whatever wrongdoing that they're doing in the black community, that is never given to black women. And black women don't do one fourth, one fifth, one sixth, one iota of the things that black men do to actively destroy the black community. Black women don't lead in unalivings. Black women don't lead in rape. Black women don't lead in robberies or anything like that. That's not you at all. And I'm gonna block you, Dark Smile. You're a liar. I asked you to come up. You didn't. I'm talking to you right now before I finish what I'm saying. You have 10 seconds and I'm going to count them out so that you know, Dark Smile, you got 10 seconds or you're getting blocked because you a coward and don't want to get in the box. 10, 9, 8, 7. You're wrong and you're a liar because it's not you. Black women have the highest completion rates when it comes to education. So, yeah, you are a liar. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, let me block you. You said you don't care. Let me block you right now. Have a great day. Goodbye. Okay, so Dark Smile is blocked. He's gone. I just want y'all to know that. So anyway, what I was saying is my thing is why isn't this grace that is given to black men for their piss poor behavior? Why is that never extended to black women? Seeing as though the only thing that man, did you notice that the man in the comments, the only thing he wanted to try to bring up to even try to down black women is to say, well, some of y'all don't have completion rates when y'all go to school. What? So let's talk about the unalivings in the black community, the ex trafficking in the black community, the pimping in the black community, the selling of the hard candy in the black community, the ruining of young black boys' minds with gang culture and the music and everything else, the making baby mamas, black men not wanting to get married and create a nuclear family unit, even though they shame black women for not having that. Even though black men don't want to do it, they don't marry anybody at a high rate. They marry the least out of all races of men. They value family the absolute least. Why is it that all of these things, when you talk to black men about it, go unanswered? Or they'll say, it's the white T man, it's the white T man. But yet these same black men will get up and talk about black women's weaves, wigs, lashes all day, every day, 24/7. Why is there no grace given to black women to say, hey, you know what? There were Tinyan laws. I think that's the proper pronunciation of it. You know, where they had black women wearing the scarves and everything, covering up their hair, shaming black women for their hair, all of that. Why isn't any grace given to black women to say, hey, you know what? Maybe black women are wearing this hair or they're doing this and that because of how they have been dogged out, how they even get dogged out by their own men in their own community, and talked about they're too dark, too ugly, too monoracial, features too unambiguously black. Huh? That's my question. Seriously, seriously, seriously. And nobody even talks about this. Pimping is a huge issue in the black community amongst black men. They love to take a black woman and break her down and force her to do things that she doesn't want to do with violence. Nobody said who's pimping black men? Huh? Like, honestly, it's crazy to me, but I find the excuse making to be insane. And just like it was another guy that was in the comments when I was talking about black men, you know, expecting black women to go 50-50 and pay all the bills and do all this. He said, well, not me. My wife hasn't worked in 3 years. Do you think that you're the representative of all black men? Do you think that your experience, if that is true and you're not lying, that you've given to your black wife is the experience that most black women are getting? Yes or no? You know it's not. You know that 99% of y'all do not do that. So why even bring up what you do? And that's another thing black men like to do. They like to use the minority to represent the majority. You know that the majority of y'all don't do that. So what are y'all talking about? You know the stats say it's the majority, sir. King Bryant. The stats say that the majority of black women that are in relationships, whether they're married or cohabitating only, pay the bills jointly or they are the breadwinner. That is a fact. That is the majority of black women's experiences. Y'all are not paying women. Y'all are not taking care of all the bills. It's a fact. You can be mad if you want to, but you can't argue with facts. So accept it. No, there's not a difference. I said the majority, period. And it's a fact. The majority of black men aren't doing that. Does that mean that their majority means not all? Do you know the definition of that or what? Do you need to go back to school? Are you part of the uneducated percentage of black men that I'm talking about or what? Anyway, let me go over here to supervillain. Go ahead, supervillain. Crazy.
Yeah, just a couple of points. I had wanted to address that guy that had came up, but to the guy who made that uh comment about his wife not working, I just want to inform the women staying at home, rearing children, taking care of a household, that is work. If he had to get that service outside, he'd have to pay them for it. And I'm pretty sure he's not giving his wife the money that he'd pay outside service to stay home. So where she may not be working outside, she's definitely working in the home. We have to stop letting them get away with unpaid labor. That is literally what slavery was, unpaid labor. And white people don't recognize that the unpaid labor of slaves is what made America great. Just like men don't understand the unpaid labor of women staying at home is what allows them to be great or be better men or to succeed. So number one, we're gonna stop acknowledge. Excuse me. We're gonna start acknowledging that women who stay home definitely are working because whatever they're doing at home, if these men had to pay for it outside, they would not be able to afford it. And if they could, that same paycheck they're not putting in their wife's hands every week. Let's be so freaking for real. Number two, that guy that came up, I'm sorry, but that answer to me was so unsatisfactory. What are black men going through that black women aren't going through two times or three times more? We're dealing with not only racism, and we're dealing with misogyny, and we're dealing with internal racism from you guys, our own men. Trick, I was not satisfied with that answer. We need to understand what's going on with y'all. Like, y'all, hello, wake up. Y'all are participating and finding community with men who used to bend y'all over tree trunks. Do y'all understand that? They used to take turns on you and us. Y'all are finding community with men who used to eat your ancestors. Hello. Trig, how many times do we have to have this comfort? Like, when is it gonna sink in their head? Like, I'm trying to not get worked up, but I don't understand how many times we have to keep saying the same story over and over for them to get it. They look like freaking idiots. For me to hear that you've seen a panel with a bunch of, how many times have non-black women come in here and try to say shit about black men, and we do not let that shit slide, no matter how terrible black men are to us. We're not letting the other people talk about what happens in the community. Then to go to a live and see these men part, y'all do. Oh, I am going to yield, Trey. Excuse me.
I totally understand. It's very frustrating and it's very irritating. And that's exactly right. Because I never let nobody do that of any other race. I never let them do it. And I think that there's a problem with the collective of black men that they refuse to acknowledge. And the guy that was up here, Mr. No Good, his name was Mr. No Good, so you already know. But I think that every time you talk to black men about their state in society, like, you never will get an answer out of them without deflection, without trying to make themselves a victim. Oh, the black man, we go through so much. We go through all this racism. We go through all this discrimination. So black women wasn't getting called the N-word and being strange fruited and great and disrespected right along with y'all. Is that not happening right now to black women right along with black men? I didn't know that there was a separate slur for black men that didn't include black women right along with it. Huh? Like, I know that when they talk about black people being monkeys and apes and all of these horrific things that have happened to us, it happened to both of us. When people say A, like, do people remember Ruby Bridges? A little, what was she, 5 or 6? Or I forgot how old Ruby Bridges was. Uh, wasn't Ruby Bridges a young little black girl? Was they not going in? Or did they say, oh, excuse me, no, we can't go in on Ruby Bridges. She's a black girl. We're only racist to those black males and black boys. What? And I think that what it is that black women are being punished at their resiliency, that their ability to persevere throughout everything. Just because black women were able to hit the ground running a smidgen better than y'all are right now, doesn't mean that we don't undergo the exact same thing. But I really, and I say this all the time, the reason why I believe that black men do these things is because black women are steadily coddling them, steadily making excuses. Because in the live that I just told y'all that made me so mad, where they had all of these white men and white Latinos in there talking about black women, there were black women in there trying to explain why they shouldn't be dehumanized. But we as black women, not all of us wear weaves. This man just said that this white Hispanic man said that black women didn't want to love their nappy hair and that they wore white women's weaves because they hate themselves. And that's why they wear come catch your lashes. And the fact that you as a black woman, you wouldn't even say anything, like, as opposed to, like, to rebut that. Like, as far as, like, I didn't even know, first of all, I can't even imagine myself rebutting that. All I can imagine myself is getting kicked off the live and just going in. But the fact that you would even have the live and you would even be in there trying to explain your humanity to not only black men who should know better, but they don't, but to white men and white Hispanics, nuts, nuts, nuts. And these type of black women, I really feel like y'all got to get y'all freaking head checked. Because why in the world would y'all come in alive with them like that? The black men in there are self-hating. And what's crazy is that when you talk to black men, they act like they don't know that these men exist or that they're a small percentage of black men, when indeed they are the majority. That's crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and let you speak, Mr. No Good, because I think Supervillain has something to say to you anyway. But you can go ahead, Mr. No Good, if you had something to say. All right, because I know you said you had something to say earlier. That's why I requested you back up.
Okay, yeah. I was just saying about the won't let me be great. They won't let me be great again. But yeah, I was just saying like these conversations they be it wears on me because I'm like, if we really care about the progression of black people in general, I feel that the women that kind of like progressed in life, I feel like they should reach out to the men that can do good, do well with you know what I'm saying, the help. Like to build the community if we still gonna have these conversations. If not, I don't feel like the conversations are really needed. Because like
Okay, so
I don't see the point of saying putting the onus on the black man of being a
okay.
problem when
All right.
they
That's
eventually
that. Okay,
got
I'm gonna cut you right there. I'm gonna cut you right there. I'm gonna say what you're saying is absolutely asinine. It's stupid. So if I go on a live and I see black men dogging out black women, tearing them to pieces, not only tearing them to pieces, but letting white men tear them to pieces, letting white Hispanics tear them to pieces, you think that I shouldn't address or say anything about that? Huh? You saw me talking about black men right now, and what did you do? You came in here and decided to say something. You didn't come up here to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I've seen that before. That's disgusting. People talking about black women in that way. No, you came up here in this live box to make excuses for niggas, respectfully. That's what you did. So my thing is, how dare you tell me how to respond to somebody bashing black women? And as far as the progression of the black community, there is going to be no progression in the black community because black men make up 95% of the problems that are plaguing the black community. And black men are not going to listen to black women. Black men don't respect black women or any other woman for that matter, or even themselves, which is why y'all are toe tagging each other all the time. So exactly how would black women, who y'all always talk about, submit and listen to y'all, which is insane? How will we help y'all do better? How will we help y'all to not be broke? How will we help y'all to go to school? How will we just make y'all to marry women and stop having babies everywhere and to stop putting y'all penis in any hole that's willing to allow you to do so? Huh? That wouldn't be our on us. The onus would be on y'all to be better and do better. Instead of always trying to deflect and make black women feel ashamed for speaking out about their experiences. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm gonna move forward. Supervillain, did you have anything to say? And then I'm gonna go to Gabrielle.
I'm gonna make two quick points. Number one, first let me do the one about I'm really tired of them talking about wigs and weaves specifically because nobody hates 4C hair more than a black man. So I don't even understand why they're doing that false thing about caring if black women wear their natural hair. Y'all don't like nappy 4C hair. So I like it. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So black women, do what you want. I love me a nice, beautiful afro or textured hairstyle, but you can do what you want because they're gonna hate you anyway. You shouldn't be doing it for them. And for Mr. No Good, I might just ask this. Why don't I ever see y'all, not you specifically, because I don't know you, but I'm talking about your demographic, in rooms talking about things like asking a white man how to get grants, asking a white man how y'all can get equal pay for the same work. You do know y'all are underpaid, right, as black men. Asking how y'all can fix up the dope roads in your community. Just, yeah, I've never heard any conversation. Financial literacy, reading a book that y'all have in common. Y'all don't never in those spaces, but y'all can come together to talk and degrade black women. Do y'all know how silly y'all fucking look? Y'all look so damn silly because as much as you hate black women, it took a black woman to make you. So you're still talking about yourself. Y'all are laughing in the room and y'all don't realize y'all the butt of the joke. Black women are able to be in spaces, especially in corporate, and be invisible because nobody cares what a black woman thinks or does or maneuvers. We are literally telling y'all we be in these spaces when they're talking hella shit about you. And y'all got the nerve to be on panels going against black women with them. I just y'all are not understanding that part, and I don't understand why it's not getting through y'all thick skull. Even if you hate black women, to participate with again. The demographic that had y'all bent over tree stumps, that ate y'all ancestors. Some of these people have furniture from back in the day that still got our ancestors' bones and hair in their couches and chases and chairs. And that's who y'all. Trig, I'm done.
All right, I got
I'll
you.
be back.
Yeah, that's what I
I
was
got
saying.
you.
Like
I got you.
I
Hold on.
affirm everything
Hold
y'all
on.
saying. Like,
Hold on. I got something to say to somebody in the comments. Hold on. I gotta go back up so that I can get their picture. King Brian, you said that you tired of seeing black men get torn down. First of all, I just want you to look at yourself. Look at yourself. You look dirty, dingy, unkempt, and broke. This is your profile picture that you choose to represent yourself, and you have on a wife beater that is twisted up and lint all up in your chin hairs. There's no way in the world you want me to believe that you have your wife living anywhere other than the deepest part of the ghetto in Roach City. Okay. And if she's not working, it's only because y'all are living off the state and government benefits, period. You look like a broke bum dusty. And I'm really, and your girl or whoever she is, because you didn't say, I don't think you said your wife. I think you said your girlfriend that you made a baby mama. I really need you to do better. Okay. You look very dirty, very ashy, very disgusting, very broke. Ain't nowhere in the world you treat that lady to anything except what being a broke boy has to offer. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and block you. Have a great day and tell your wife to enjoy boredom. Okay. Brokenness. Bye bye. As I was saying, I really it's very annoying to talk to black men that cannot critically think at all. Because it's so funny that, you know, black women are always supposed to accept everything that y'all say about black women and just take it on the chin and still uplift and pour into y'all. But we are not supposed to accept the same thing. These are the same black men that have literally called a man treating a woman properly simping, weak, being a punk. That should let you know right there what black men stand for, honestly. But let me go down here to Gabrielle.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. So I guess the prompt is why are they behind socioeconomically or I'm sorry, financially or have low racial self-esteem? Or I just want to make
Yes.
sure.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so yeah, so I think, and this might be controversial, I just think it's because they don't want to do better. Like I really do, and like I understand that there's like some people will bring up the racism thing, but the fact of the matter is that BLK women are surpassing BLK males by miles. The fact of the matter is that in my own life, when I was like a kid and like my parents got divorced, my mom was actually paying my dad child support, which means that she out earned him. I mean, like, I'm just looking at what I see. I mean, even the males who come in your lives, like they objectively are not intelligent people. They can barely keep up with the prompt. They can barely like hold a conversation. You know, I know in some of your other lives we talked about like the literacy rates. Like I really do think it's because they. I mean, this is not all obviously. There are always going to be outliers, but I'm just speaking as a collective. I'm saying collectively, they don't want to do better. They don't want to apply themselves in the way that BLK women are. They don't want to do it. They think it's just not something that they should have to do. I think a lot of them probably grew up with like fathers and uncles and you know older brothers who didn't have anything going on, and so they kind of just followed and you know like that footstep and just said, "Hey, well, this is all I know." And like they just don't want to take the initiative to better themselves as men, or I'm sorry, as males, but they want to make all of these demands from women and say that we need to be subordinate to them and we need to, you know, do this, that, and the third for them. Like they really would rather just like be like my dad, who was like collecting child support checks from his ex-wife, you know, while he was like, you know, not really making much money. Like obviously as a kid I didn't realize all of that, but like as an adult I get it now. But I'm just using that as like one example. So if that's like one example for me, then like I know there are so many, you know, other cases like that. Like they truly they don't want to do better. I know how it's going to sound to say that I don't care about them mentioning racism. Like I know how that sounds, but at the end of the day, BLK women are surpassing them by miles. And at some point it really does come down to what are these BLK males in their individual lives doing to be better. They can study, go to college, learn a trade, start a business. They can do something to better themselves, to be just at least a little bit further along in life than where they are now. And I know it's controversial, but it's just my opinion that they don't want to do better. They want to leech off women. They want to manipulate and abuse women and do all this stuff that they saw their fathers and uncles and older brothers doing. And like I've said in so many other lives, they're also actively being fed online content that tells them that it's basically their birthright to, take and energy siphon and leech energy, or I'm sorry, siphon energy from women. And so I think that's why they're behind financially. And I don't even know about the racial self-esteem thing. I mean, I just think all of like the prompt is great, but I think it really is a microcosm of they just do not want to do any better. Like they really don't. Like, because improving themselves would actually take discipline and initiative and perseverance and like sticking with something. And in their minds, in my opinion, it's like, why would they do all of that when they can just, find, some woman to have kids with and then like get her to, pay them child support. I mean, there's like an entire genre of this, like Bourbon Bougie. I watch her YouTube channel like every day because she posts a bunch of great stuff, and she posts about these males who are like hobosexuals who will, seek out women who do have homes and do have careers and do have money and assets and properties, and they'll like leech onto that woman and, just try to like, I think Bourbon Bougie calls it pest, or a pest that needs to rest and nest. It's so funny. I love her, but that is what they will do. I think most of them would just prefer to do that than be better. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't feel bad for them. And, when it comes to them and using the racism thing, they can only use that so much because, like I said, BLK women are, superseding them by miles. But I'll land there for now.
All right, all right. I got you. I appreciate you, Gabrielle. My question is this, is that oftentimes, when Black men come in the chat, or they come on the panel, or when I see them in their own lives, they talk about, how Black women are, aggressive or masculine, and how if Black women want Black men to do correctly or do right by them, all they need to do is like submit to them and follow their program and things of that nature. And I have several questions to that. Exactly why would an intelligent Black woman, a thinking Black woman, follow the program or ideology of a group of men that are on the bottom and that have not been able to make any type of improvements? That's number one. If you're not successful as a collective, why would I follow you when the only thing that you have to show for anything is nothing? A lack of improvement, a lack of success, lack of money, funds, anything. You have no societal power. You don't stand up against anybody. A police officer or any random white man can walk up to you and pop your top, peel your muffin cap back. None of y'all are going to stand up for it. All of y'all going to do is sit and cry on the internet and cry in the streets and talk about how, look at what happened to us. Look at what happened to us. But if a Black man that looks like you does something, or a Black woman that does something to you, then you have no problem getting buck with her and peeling her muffin cap back. But if a white man does anything to you, you're silent on your hands and knees and begging him, Massa, please, don't do anything to me. So exactly what would be the purpose in submitting to a group of men that have no power? You have the same amount of power they do. So why in the world would you submit to that? And my thing is that if you don't stand up to other men, like, that poor Black boy that got unalived, 10-year-old, he got ran over by the white man with the DUI, and he didn't go to jail or anything like that. They're trying to get him charged now. The Black men, the Black father, the Black men in their communities knew where that man was. Did they step? No. Did they do anything? No. Did they organize anything? No. Did I see a whole bunch of Black men talking about that on TikTok or anywhere? No. I saw a couple Black men, but as a collective, no. So exactly why would I want to stand behind a group of men that don't even stand up for their boys? Their little boys in their community. They still run around and cry, what can I do? George Zimmerman still walking around here. He was out here signing Skittle bags. Did any black man say, hey, we're not going to let that happen? No. But black men can come up and talk about, hey, y'all need to stop wearing them weaves. Y'all need to submit to me. Y'all need to go 50-50. It doesn't make any sense. And until black men realize that they are a joke to the world, they'll never get anywhere. Until they stop making excuses and blaming black women for their failures, they'll get nowhere. And till they stop blaming those evil, dastardly sew-in weaves with cash doll curls, until they stop blaming those boho knotless braids with water wave curls in them, till they stop blaming coffin nails with the rhinestones on them, or lashes, individual lashes or cluster lashes for the downfall of the black community, they won't be able to get anywhere ever. And that's why I really feel like black men really do live in a state of delusion, because to be any black man to get up here and attempt to say anything to me without addressing everything that is wrong with y'all is already nuts. It's already nuts. For real. I remember that viral video. I saw that black man get manhandled by that white female police officer. She was throwing him all over the hood and telling him to shut up and calling him the B word and all of this. And all he was doing was crying, why are you doing this to me? Why? Don't do this. Don't do this. This isn't right. This isn't right. Don't do that. Don't do that. And she telling him, shut up, shut up, shut up. And all he was doing was crying. Crying. You get what I'm saying? These are the men that you're supposed to be what? Letting do what? Letting do what? And it's so funny, they get on these lives and have so much to say about black women. But when you ask them about the very real statistics that surround them, that's why I've always said that I don't believe that black women should ever take in, when people say, oh, black people as a collective are violent, black people be robbing people, black people be doing this, that, and the third. No, you need to make sure if you're a black woman, you separate yourself and say, no, that's black men. Because statistically, black women aren't doing none of that. Those are black men that are doing any of those things. So I don't know. It's really, really crazy that it's so many black men that really get so comfortable to come up here and talk about some weaves and some wigs and some baby mamas or whatever, but don't talk about anything at all that they do. They don't talk about the fact that a whole lot of them be out here touching little girls. You know what I'm saying? Out here preying on girls in high school. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about all the girls that they have forced into actual prostitution. They don't talk about none of these things. They keep all of these things, but they'll be quick to talk about a weave and some child support. It's literally insane. It doesn't make any sense. Let me go down here. Chilotam. Go ahead, Chilotam. I'll start your timer for you. Go ahead, sis. And good to see you, Chilotam.
Hi, Triggered. Good to see you too. I'm sorry, I was in the other live and I couldn't, I was on the road and my internet was going in and out. But I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've actually been going down so many rabbit holes about how everything kind of comes down to how we were all raised. I was watching this Instagram reel, and this girl worded it perfectly, because I was like, I just for the life of me could not understand why there is such a disconnect today between men and women. And it dawned on me that for most of us, as we were growing up as girls, we were put we're put under so much pressure, and we were forced to keep up with super high standards, and that's kind of what molded us into the women that we are today, because we kind of have to work twice as hard, be 10 times smarter for us to be on the same quote unquote level as our male counterparts. And now when we're growing up, those same standards were not forced on the men, and that's why they've just been coddled into this lifestyle of mediocrity. And now that women are outpacing men in everything, now they want to talk about our weaves. Can you imagine how, I don't even want to be insulting, but can you imagine how fruity that sounds, that you don't have anything else to talk about but what a woman uses to beautify herself? Like, your mates are building empires, building generational wealth for their children, and you're worried about me going to get nails or getting weaves done. Like, it's such a low IQ and low quality thought process, and I just can't help but feel like it comes from them just being coddled as children. Even like when I was growing up, for instance, and I have a lot of female siblings and family members, the thing they would always tell us was, oh, is this how you're going to be in your husband's house? Is this how you're going to be in your husband's house? Meanwhile, you know what they tell the men? They tell the men, oh, don't worry, you will marry a wife, your wife will change you. Like, it's just, it's so, and now that everybody, like women are waking up and we're like, no, we're not taking this BS anymore. Now, all of a sudden, we're too independent and too masculine. And what really even grinds my gears is when people try to use religion to kind of back up their points. Like, I have so much to say on this topic, but I just feel like it ties into how we were raised and how they weren't held to high standards like us. And I'll yield. Thank you.
All right, I got you. I appreciate you, Talotam. I'm gonna go back up here to Mr. No Good. You can go ahead. I started your timer, sir. You still here? You had something to say?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Um. Yeah, I was saying, yeah, I can understand why the old men. I can't understand why the old men get so much attention on on that conversation. But it's men out here like me that's understand what's going on from the mental space to the physical. I led with our friend with what you guys are saying, but we had to separate certain people from the conversation. And I feel that the economy and the system isn't a place for like right now in this space. I don't feel like the economy and the system is a place for blacks to, you know what I'm saying, sustain a great life at this point. With the doctrine that we have, when we break down of why we understand things that we do, I feel that these conversations will get better.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of confused by what you're saying because black men aren't helping anyone collectively. They're not helping themselves, and they're definitely not helping black women. So I don't understand exactly what you mean about the conversations. The only thing I feel like black women can do is have conversations about the behavior of black men and not allow black men to be the ones to tell the stories about what black women are and who they are and what they are, because if we were to be quiet and be silent and not say anything, then black women, their reputation would be even worse globally than what it is, because the only thing collectively that black men normally do is speak poorly of black women. That's why if you get into it with anybody of any race, the first thing they talk about is how much black men don't like black women, how much they talk about black women, how much they love other races of women, because that's the only thing that black men put forth in the atmosphere collectively. Now, of course, that's not for every single black man, but the collective, the majority, that is the case. That's the reason why that's the first shot that people take. And until black men are able to acknowledge that and leave black women completely out of the conversation and figure out amongst each other how y'all can oust out or kick out or eradicate or whatever you want to call it, the self-hating black men, the black men will never get anywhere collectively. Y'all will continue to always be on the bottom. Y'all will continue to always be underneath the boot of the white man. You will continue to be broke. You will continue to be uneducated. You will continue to be violent to each other and everybody else that comes across you collectively. That will always happen until black men can figure it out. But black women don't have anything to do with it.
Right.
So I don't
That's
know.
what that's what I was saying. Like it's certain people that shouldn't be inclusive to these conversations. We giving too much energy to the men that can't process this conversation. So if we turn these conversations from what the gray area men are doing to
That's
what
not
the
the gray
men.
area, man. That's the
I mean,
majority of the black
like
men.
hear me out, hear me out. So when I say gray area, I'm just saying the men that's doing the alleged thing, right? So if we focus on the betterment side of it, those men will
No, that's
eventually.
nuts. That's nuts. Respectfully, you don't have a problem with doing that and black women focusing on that because you're not the one that's being bashed and talked about. You're not a black woman, so of course you can come and tell me, oh yeah, we should focus on the other men, the very small percentage of black men that aren't speaking like that, because it's not you getting talked about like that. But I noticed that you came in here to talk about this because you saw what I said about black men not having any money or not doing anything financially, because you wanted to speak up and push the narrative. Oh, that's not all of us. You wanted to push back against what I'm saying. So why in the world do you think that I shouldn't or we shouldn't as black women do the same? That doesn't make any type of sense. You want us to be silent about how we're being treated and how we're being talked about. You want us to shut it up. and go
No,
ahead and focus on
no,
a very small percentage of black men that actually are saying something positive about black women. And that's nuts to me. I
no.
don't agree
I
with that.
affirm.
No.
I
We can
affirm what
speak
you're
about
saying.
what
I
we
was just
want.
saying have the conversation with the people that actually care. That's what I'm saying. That's what I.
Most black men don't care. So I mean, I
But that's what
what
I'm saying. Hear me out. Hear me out, host. That's why I'm saying you keep saying most. But what's the opposite of most in that conversation?
that's
Have
a
the con.
small amount. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
saying I don't come across really none. If you want me to, I'm just being nice by saying a small amount. It's virtually none, at least that I come across on TikTok. So if I was to have a conversation with the black men that you're talking about, that would be no, the life would be empty. Nobody would care.
Exactly, exactly. We like it's not a performative thing at the end of the day if we talking about progression. I'm not trying to sound sadistic or nothing like that, but we got to stop thinking preemptively. You know what I'm saying?
We,
So
you keep saying we. It's not we. It's a you and it's a me. It's a black woman and it's a black man. There's no way in the world I'm linking myself up with black men when the collective of black men wouldn't even stop a black woman from getting her head bashed in on the street. Y'all be talking about some not me. I gotta go home. I don't know her. She not my family. What I can't correct, I can't protect. So why in the world would I be talking about we? It ain't no we. It's a you and men and black men, and then it's a me and black women. What we're not connected at all. Y'all have already shown that black men cannot be relied upon by the simple fact that black women are toe tagged the most out of all races of women here in the United States. The fact that black women make up like 10% of the female population, yet they make up like 60% of all unalivings of women. And 95 plus percent of the time, it's y'all doing it. So exactly where's the we at?
I
Where's the
mean,
we?
when you bring stats in, I never disagree with stats. I really don't care for it respectfully, but
Of
all I'm
course you
saying is,
don't care for it because it's not you getting unalive. I could have that too if I wasn't a black, if I
I mean,
wasn't a black woman.
not to that specific stat. I was just saying stats in general.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know. You can say we can not say it's that. We can just say, hey, black women are being unalived. Black women are being forced into sexual servitude, aka sex trafficking. It's a lot of things that happen to black women at the hands of black men. And the other black men that you're talking about don't care either. They don't do anything. Where are these black men that you're talking about that ride when other black men are harmed? Or ride when that young boy at the college was found strange fruited on a tree? Where are the huge numbers of huge rallies and huge numbers of black men marching, stomping everywhere, saying, hey, we're not going to do this? Where is it? Like when you saw the white tea people that went to the Capitol, when you saw the white tea people that popped up like hundreds of thousands of people at that Charlie Kirk Memorial, where are that number of these black men that you're talking about? Where are they at? Since there's so many of them, where are the black men at when it comes to these other things? Where are y'all? Why aren't y'all nowhere, standing nowhere then? Since there's so many of y'all, where y'all at?
I hear you, I hear you. But this just like this goes without saying. This just like anything. Something has to start. Like it has to be a start because like these conversations, what I'm trying to have, they're not. I ain't gonna say they're not accessible. That'll be the wrong word. But I'm saying they're not being held because a lot of men doctrine is not set to understand it. But that's what I'm saying. Like if we keep focusing on the bad, that's gonna feed the bad. Like
No, I don't believe in that. That's just like when white people tell you speaking about racism encourages more racism. No, it doesn't. If you racist, you always gonna be racist. If you a hateful man, you always gonna be a hateful man. Me speaking about somebody being hateful is not gonna make them hateful. But like I said, I noticed that you were silent when I asked where black men were. So as opposed to you talking to me and trying to chastise me and tell me not to speak about black men and the collective of black men's behavior, I would implore you to go somewhere and talk to black men and see if you can get black men to show up the way these white men show up, the way these white men gather and organize quickly and go places to talk about what affects them. Y'all never do that. So you got to go somewhere and talk to black men about why they're so buck broken and conquered that they would rather sit at home and smoke some Mary Jane or drink some and or beat on their girlfriends as opposed to going somewhere to help their futures. That's not up to me, and that's not up to black women. And I think that's the problem that y'all have is that y'all always want to direct it and circle it back to the black woman. It's not our problem. It's not
but
our fault. It's not our
host, can
fight.
I ask you a question?
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying. Like I hear that a lot over TikTok, right? And I'm a very authentic person, so When I'm talking about stuff like this is stuff I really advocate for. I don't feel like that. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not a good idea. It possibly could be a good idea. However, I feel like when you know that it's a collective problem between men and women, I feel like if you leave women out the conversation, it won't be as impactful as you think it'll be, because women, if men are creating the space to harm these women, we have to have these women to speak out on the things before not the post, but the preliminary things, right? So what leads up to a man doing this? Not excusing a man. I'm not trying to say that. So bear with me. I have limited words. So what I'm trying to say is we need to have the conversation. What causes men to act like that? What is the breakdown in front of that? That's what I'm trying to say.
The breakdown of men and why they do the things that they do is because they want to do it and they don't have any respect for women. And the reason why black women make the most out of the women that things are done to is because the majority of the entire world in society doesn't have any respect for black women. So that's the reason why. It's nothing that women can talk about. I just saw a story of a man on trial right now that didn't want to be a baby father. So he unalived his baby mama and took his 2 day old baby and threw it off a bridge. There's nothing that can be done for that. There's nothing that a woman caused. It's nothing to talk about. Will lay him up to there. He was selfish, ignorant, been coddled all his life, and thought that he could make that choice and make that decision. And it's really just that simple. Once again, those are things that you need to talk about with other black men, as opposed to why that is. Men are the most dangerous here on the planet. Men commit 90% plus of all unalivings globally across the entire world of all races. 99.1% of all forcible rape is committed by men. So those, and the majority of all crime is committed by men. So that's like 78% here in the United States. So once again, that's something that you need to talk about men about, because it has nothing to do with women or nothing to do with stopping them or starting them or what we're doing. Why in the world would I talk to men, or should women talk to men, when black men are the ones hollering about somebody submitting, being the leaders of the black community? If you're the supposed leaders, what do you need me to talk to you about? About problems that I didn't start, problems that don't reside with me. Because black women's incarceration rates are down. They are down. They are even lower than white women's. So what exactly would we be talking about with y'all?
When I think about it in my mind, it's like it comes to the part of we can only assume, you know what I'm saying? Because like we've been given behavior scripts at the end of the day. So in the back of I'm not you know what I'm saying, separating myself from it, but I understand at the end of the day. A lot of men think that they supposed to lead, that they supposed to protect, provide, which that's cool. Don't get me wrong, whatever floats your boat, do it. Hey, I don't care. All I'm saying is we got to break down the behavior scripts on both sides. And if we having a one-sided, if one party is having a one-sided conversation, the other side will still be thinking that they supposed to be you know what I'm saying, doing said thing. So I feel like it's a group effort.
I mean, my thing is this: is that what are these behavior scripts, and why is it that black men are following these behavior scripts, but black women who grow up in the exact same circumstances and environments that black men do, they're not engaging in these behavior scripts? What's the difference?
I disagree with that. I think it's on both sides.
Okay, so what are black women doing that is, according to these behavior scripts, that is destroying the black community in the way that black men are? Are black women targeting black men and unaliving them and tagging them on a high level? Do,
No,
when
no.
you go down the street and you see some black women at the nighttime with bonnets on, are you afraid that they're going to rob you or grape you or take you somewhere and X traffic you and run your pockets? Do you, when you see them, do you feel that way?
No,
If
no,
not, if you
no,
don't
you're
feel
right.
that way, then that should show you that black women don't have a behavior script.
I mean, you're right. When I say this, I'm saying it respectfully. Like in a extreme form, you're absolutely right. But I'm just saying, like, just strictly to relationships that might go domestically violent, I'm saying behavior scripts on net. So I feel like once you take the stress of mandates off of you, that you will get a better I was about to say income, a better outcome.
Okay. I feel like that doesn't make any logical sense, but I'm just gonna keep going. I'll come back to you, Mr. No Good. I'm gonna go here to Gabrielle, sis. I'll give you 2 minutes because I just added two people up, sis. So I'll let them speak.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I'm just kind of blown away by listening to everything he said. I mean, to me, it really does give the energy of low literacy rates, like confusing income with outcome, which are not even remotely similar things. And then just how he's dodging accountability. He's talking about both sides, but no, like both sides do not have extreme, issues with literacy. Both sides are not like thriving in college. Like, okay, he's saying that, oh, I don't think the system is set up for us to succeed, but at the end of the day, BOK women are the most educated, are increasing in home ownership rates. As you mentioned, triggered incarceration rates for us specifically have declined. So it's like none of what he was saying makes any sense to me. This is like everything, because I've been listening to what he was saying, like listening to the conversation between you guys. All of it just sounded like he was trying to like evade accountability. Like he could not focus on the specific issues with BLK males and their dysfunctional behavior and their degeneracy and their lack of willingness to better themselves. So it's just mind blowing to me. Like I think he came on this live to try to argue you down and try to refute your points. But I mean, ironically, he's just proving it. Like it's like BLK males. It's not all of us. No, it's you guys. It's BLK males. Like that is something for you guys to deal with. I mean, if BLK women can, get these degrees and increase our home and ownership rates and do all of these amazing things, then BLK males can do the same. And I think the reason you guys aren't doing that is because you just don't want to, because as the host would say, you guys live in delusion and you think literally just by virtue of you guys being male that you are entitled to, have women worship you and like have your kids and do all of this free labor for you. And I think you guys are getting angrier and increasingly more deranged and unstable as you realize it's just not going to happen. And as you see women excelling. So that's what I think, but I will land my plane for now.
All right, all right. I got you, Gabrielle. Okay, I'm gonna go down here to Jazz Doll. Next. Go ahead, Jazz Doll. Let me set your timer for you, sis. Go ahead, Jazz Doll.
Okay, hey, why are black men so behind in other races of men financially, and why do black men have such a low racial self-esteem? I think part of the reason is because majority of the reason is because black men they've been coddled by black women, and that's not the black woman's fault, but black women have done everything for the black man, and he's become very lazy. And part of why he is not competing with other races of men is because he's afraid that he may have to go to war with the YT man. So to avoid the YT man, he is not going to acknowledge anything, because the only way he can get that self-esteem, the only way that he can reclaim his manhood and become financially dependent and thrive in this country is to go to war with the very men that subjugated him. And because black men are cowards, they're not going to do that. They're going to scapegoat and blame the black woman for everything, blame wigs and lashes and makeup and purses and stuff. They're going to do all of that just so he does not have to acknowledge the YT man. So I feel like that's the main reason why. Other than also is they're drowning in self-hatred. This is why they have racial self-esteem issues, because they automatically assume that because the other person's skin is white, that it's better. And he is the only group of men that thinks this way, right? And so I think you laid out a really good point when you talked about black women. You don't get afraid when you get around black women who has on a bonnet late at night. She's not going to harm you. Majority of the black community's bad reputation is stemming from black men. It's not black women. They're going into other people's community and creating single mothers. They're committing crime in other people's community. Not saying that those people don't commit crime themselves, but the bad reputation that black people have outside of racism is because of black men's behavior. This is just who they are, and they've become comfortable because we have given them everything.
And for the first time, this generation of black women are saying absolutely not. Enough is enough. I'm not just going to be with you because you're black and male. You got to bring something to the table. And that frightens them because now they're not being told they're kings and they this and they that, right? So their arrogance, their narcissism, and their egos are battling each other. And so I think that's why they're having issues, because they don't know what it means to be a man. They're more focused on submission and what women are doing. I land there.
All right, all right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Jazz Doll. I definitely think that you made a very good point. I definitely agree with you about the coddling for sure. If the live is skipping you guys, it's probably somebody trying to report it. So if y'all could just tap the screen and keep liking the live, that will remedy the skipping. But I just wanted to say, yeah, I definitely agree with Jazz Doll. I think she made a great point when she talked about coddling, because I definitely do believe that that is a huge problem in the black community. I think coddling is, and also black women lying to black men about the type of man that they are. You know how black women talk about, oh, they love them a medium, ugly black man and all that other stuff, knowing that black men never talk about that. They never talk about wanting an ugly woman. And they over there shaming women bodies, shaming their hair, shaming their faces, shaming everything about them. You don't hear them talk about that. But black women are so quick to give a black man a try that's doing the barest minimum. He can be broke, he can be ashy, he can be homeless, he can have nothing to offer. And there's a black woman that will give him a chance. There are black mothers coddling their black sons that know that their sons touch kids, touch little girls, do all type of things, beat the brakes off of every woman that they come across. And yet that black mother is still like, oh, my son, no weapon formed against my son will prosper. Just like that lady. I don't know if y'all remember the story of Melvin O'Neal, the man that had several cases of essaying women and abusing women and beating the brakes off women. And his mother was on Facebook shaming women, going at women and everything, until that man went and got on some illegal substances and came home and raped her and beat the brakes off of her. Then after that, now she needs to call the police. Now she realizes that her son is a monster when she should have realized he was a monster a long time ago. So, I mean, I definitely agree. I think that black women have got to stop letting black men feel like they doing something when they not. And that's the reason why I do what I do. I don't make excuses for black men. I don't care about the minor portion of black men that are doing right, because the majority of them are not doing right. And even if you're talking about a black man that's not like a raving criminal, a lot of them have no sexual discipline. They're out here having intercourse with a whole bunch of women, hurting people's feelings, cheating on them, doing all type of things, mooching off of them, sponging off of them, being homosexuals. It's a whole lot of terrible issues in the black community that are rooted in the black male ideology, which is, in my opinion, a lot of it comes from rap music and their devaluing of black women and making black men feel comfortable with debauchery and glorifying debauchery and piss poor behavior. But I don't want to talk about the minority. Like Mr. No Good want to talk about like let's say 100 black men to 10,000 black men. He wants us to talk about the 100 versus the 10,000. And that's not what I'm going to do, because the 10,000 is far more impactful. Because easily I could say, hey, I'm married to a black man. He ain't never been locked up. He ain't never went to jail. He went to college. He did this, that, and the third. He never smoked weed. He ain't never did nothing. But he is not the collective of black men. I would be lying if I said that. He's not. He's an outlier. And until black men can understand and recognize the fact that the collective of black men has a whole lot of work to do, and that's being nice, saying it like that, then they'll get anywhere, because they like to hide behind, it's not all of us. See, look, there's 1 million of us over here, but look at those 10 black men in the corner doing right. But ignore the 1 million, because we're talking about the 10 black men in the corner. No, the heck we not. We're talking about the million over there doing what they ain't got nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. But let me go down here to sense of humor. Go ahead, sense of humor. You there, sense of humor? Let me send you a request to turn your mic on.
I'm
You there,
sorry.
sense of
Yes,
humor?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Nah, they can't hear me.
I
Oh,
can hear you.
oh no. Pretty much. Finally, y'all were deep in conversation when I finally joined. You pretty much hit the biggest points that I want to, and which was
Got really bad. Is it me or did she
top
got really bad
pillars.
reception?
No, she got a bad connection. You're kind of jumbled up, sense of humor. Yeah, I think I'll
Now,
go ahead and just pause her out, and I'll enter a countdown until
all
when she
right.
comes back and she got a better connection. Sense of humor, but
All
I'll let
right,
you speak
sounds
as soon as
good.
you get a better connection. Okay. Just send me a request back up. All right, let me go down here to Miss Reed. Go ahead, Miss Reed. You there, Miss Reed? Let me send you a request to turn your mic on. You there, Miss Reed? Or she might have requested it by mistake too. You there, Miss Reed?
I'm here. Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thanks for let me come up. The prompt: why are black males so behind other races of men financially, and why do black males have such low racial self-esteem? Plain and simple, their priorities are fucked up. They're so busy focused on if they want to get a bag, they're trying to get it quick instead of taking their time and doing shit right and putting in the work. They want everything handed to them, and they just don't want to do the damn work. Anything that requires work is a problem, and that's it. Their priorities are just messed up.
If I could jump in real quick, triggered. It's something I want to say that I left out.
Uh,
Um,
sure. It was well, were you done, Miss Reed?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, all right. I appreciate you, Miss Reed. All right, yeah, go ahead, Jazz Doll.
I think, again, I don't want to come off as if I am blaming black women. However, when these men were treasonous, when these men talked about their songs that go all the way back to the 40s, where black men were saying black women are fat and ugly. The back in the 1968, when they legalized interracial marriage, 60% of black men went out and married white women. The whole song Papa Was a Rolling Stone, that song was literally came out back in the day about how black men were cheating and creating families all over town. And how did we reward black men? No, before I say that, they even had this narrative going on for the last 30 years of welfare took them out the home. And how did us black women respond with that? By calling them kings, by saying you're the only man I'll ever date. I'll never date outside my race. Oh, he got to be a black man. He got to be tall. He got to be dark skinned. He got to be there. That's what our response was. And then their response was, well, we the most desired. Nobody wants you, black woman. You're a baby mama. You're a single mother. You this, you that. They have never, and I mean never, uplifted the black woman while we kept lifting them up and kept lifting them up and kept lifting them up, and they gave us absolutely nothing. So when that black man comes on the panel and says we the most desired, I can believe it, even though in reality he is not. But to him he is, because he can say no matter what I do to the black woman, she still has my unaliving loyalty. She has my loyalty. I can do it. I can go rendezvous over here with this YT woman and lose all my money, Shannon Sharp. I can go over and lose all my wealth and get divorced and give her $750 million, Tiger Woods. I can go do all of that. And the black woman going to be in the comments windmilling for me. I can do all of this stuff. I can talk about how love is love and all of this. And then my Asian preference, Young Jeezy, leaves me. Then I can get online. I can go sit across from Nia Long and talk about how much I need when I'm in my lowest. That's when I want the black woman. And black women gonna be in the comments, yeah, black king, come on back home, yeah. Don't nobody understand the struggle like I do. We struggling for love, struggle love. That's been our response to the black men for the last 60, 70, 100 years. That's what we've done. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't blame the black man for the way he thinks and acts. Now, it doesn't serve him. He's a fool at the end, but I don't blame him because we've given him everything. We are embarrassing ourselves with the loyalty that we have given him. With the loyalty that the greatest detriment to the black woman is her loyalty to the black man. It has not served her anything. And so we gotta be accountable for that black woman again. And I'll land on this. I am proud of the black women here recently who are finally saying, you know what, enough is enough. I'm done. I'm walking away. I would rather be single than to be with one of them. I would rather date out than to be with one of them. I understand. Because you got to put yourself first, and we have placed them on a pedestal in the black community that they cannot come off of. I land.
All right, all right, all right, all right. I got you, Jazz Doll. I really do. I understand everything that you were saying. And like I said, I agree with you. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Like black women do have a problem with all of that. I was it earlier today or was it yesterday? I saw a live where black women were just acting so male-centered and pick-meist, and these men were saying all this stuff, and they were just jumping through hoops trying to get them to acknowledge their humanity, which these men, the men that were in there, never would. And it was really making me sick. I was just like, there are a lot of black women that've got to do better with building their self-esteem up and not sacrificing themselves for an ounce or one iota of attention from a black man. But yeah, I get you. I mean, I still blame them too, though. But I do know that black women also are an exacerbating cause to the problem for sure. I don't have anything to rebut what you're saying because I definitely agree. Let me go down here to Kente. Kente Sherry. Go ahead, Kente Sherry. Let me start your timer. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just gonna go straight and answer the prompt. Um, Systemic racism is a big part of both of those things, and it's halfway black people's in general fault, and it's halfway not. I mean, first of all, we gotta acknowledge what has happened to both of us, not just one side of the spectrum. Things have happened to black men that black women didn't do, and things have happened to black women that black men didn't do. But at the end of the day, when we go home and we look at each other, we tend to blame. We tend to
Can you
blame
tell
each
me
other
what
for the
that is?
things. Can I tell you what that is?
Yes.
Um, First of all, it's how we use each other, right? How we use each other, and then how we acknowledge how we just used each other afterwards. Like, if you did something to me and you genuinely did not mean to hurt me, or it came off the wrong way, then we need to be able to say that to each other, right? There's not enough. She said something about humility and having humanity. Neither one of us has humility towards the other. We both look at each other like objects, like we're just things to be played with here on earth, right? That's how both of us look at each other.
Okay,
Black
so let me ask you a
black
question
men.
because I want to actually have a real conversation. When you say that we're both doing things to each other, I always find that when black men say that it's such a cop out. That's why I asked Mr. No Good the question, but you probably weren't here. I want to know when you say that we're doing things to each other, what is the highest thing that you can do to someone that will harm them? What's the worst thing that you can do in your opinion that can harm someone?
Humiliation.
Okay, so that's the worst thing that you can do. You don't think
That's,
that.
I think it's worse. I think it's worse than doing something physically, because
So you think humiliation is worse than putting somebody in the dirt and taking them off of the face of planet Earth forever?
that's way worse. Why? Because when you get hurt physically, you see the scars. You
That
know,
is
you know where to put the
absolutely
band-aid. You know where to put the ointment.
okay. I'm gonna stop you right there, Kente, and I'm gonna restart your timer for you. I just after I say this, first of all, I just want to say that I wholly, wholeheartedly disagree with what Kente said. That is the most idiotic, stupid thing anybody could ever say. Humiliation is on no level worse than unaliving somebody and putting them in the dirt because you see the scars. What? Okay, if I'm in the dirt and I'm rotting away and I'm decomposing, what? What? I mean, what? I I can't even like that was just so stupid that my mind is just like actually spiraling. I actually think like a part of my brain like actually disconnected from one hemisphere of my brain and then oozed out the side of my ear and then went to the bathroom and flushed itself down the toilet so it didn't have to hear it again. That's ridiculous. But nonetheless, that's fine if you think that. Let me just say this for anybody that actually has any type of, critical thinking. That's insane. And the worst thing that you can do to somebody is take them out of here. Take them up out of here, unalive them, put them in the dirt. And as I said earlier, black men are unaliving black women the most out of any race of man in the United States, hands down, period. Black women make up 10% of the female population and almost 60% of the unalivings of women in the United States. And the majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, like 9.5 times out of 10, when she's unalived, it's by a black man. So when we talk about this whole thing about black women harming black men and it's equal, we're harming each other, this is what we doing, it's not what we doing. As I said earlier, when you see a black woman at night, you're not scared. You're not afraid. You don't think she's gonna break you. You don't think she's gonna knock your head in. You don't think she's gonna carjack you. You don't think that she's gonna do none of that. When you get into it with your girl and you cheat on her and you disrespect her, or you left her with a baby, or she find out while she's in the delivery room pushing out a baby that you cheating, or when you come up while she's halfway still bleeding and you bring a PlayStation to the hospital and act like she's supposed to be happy just with your presence, you don't think that she's gonna put you in the dirt. You don't think she's going to unalive you. You don't think she's going to do any of these things to you. Because why? Because most of the time, black women do not do things like that. Really, women in general. So this whole idea that this dynamic between black women and black men are equal is a complete fallacy, and it's a lie. Black women not roofing y'all drinks and kidnapping y'all and taking y'all somewhere else and telling y'all to get on the track and go suck some cock and balls. Nobody's doing that to y'all. But that's the reality of a lot of black women. So the majority, when it comes to black men, nobody's going and say, hey, can I take you out on a date? Hey, go ahead and have this drink. And you're waking up and you've been anally raped by that woman. And she telling you, oh, relax, relax, relax. You got a little bit of tipsy. We did something, but you don't realize what happened to you. Stop the games and stop the lies. It is not equal. And your behavior when you see black women in all states of the day, no matter where you go, when it's at nighttime, when it's in the daytime, when it's in the early time, shows that you don't view it the same way. So please get up out of here. Talk about some humiliation is worse than unaliving. Man. I'm going to restart your timer. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to speak. I'm going to try my best not to interrupt. But this is just foolishness. Just go ahead, Kente. This is foolishness. And this is just me trying to be fair. You know, even though if I was on some of these Negroes panels, they wouldn't even give me the grace of doing this. But go ahead. I started your timer. It's ticking, Kente.
I wasn't specifically speaking about unaliving. I was just talking about doing things that hurt each other in general, whether they be physical or emotional or spill, with whatever you want to call the other side of it. It wasn't specifically towards unaliving. And no, I'm talking about physical pain. Like you fall, you scratch yourself, you can see where to apply the ointment, apply the band-aid. You can see where you need to be healed at. With emotional pain and like humiliation, you don't know where that pain is. You don't know where it's located. You don't know. You can't go to the doctor and say, hey, fix the embarrassment that I just went through and give me some medication for it. You can't do that. And that happens to both sides, black men and black women. We do it to each other. I'm not saying unaliving is worse. No, I'm saying emotional pain, it hurts more than physical pain aside of unaliving somebody. Does that make sense? We do a lot of emotional things to each other that we shouldn't do, that other races don't do to each other. We talk down on each other.
That's ridiculous as
Right?
well.
We
That's
do. How is
also
that ridiculous? How is that ridiculous?
Okay. I'll tell you why, because you said other races of people don't do that to each other. That's also another problem that black men have. Your participation in coonery. Other races absolutely do that. White men talk about white men talk about white women. White men hurt white women. White men unalive white women.
Well,
They put them in the
that's not
dirt.
being
They
put on
talk
the
about them. They
forefront.
bash them. No. This is another thing that y'all engage in. The romanticizing of other races. Absolutely.
Wait.
The Asian men do it. The Arab men do it. The white
No,
tea men do it. Everybody does it. That's a human thing. That's a male thing to do these type of things. So this whole idea that the only people that are talking about each other are black people is rooted in absolute white supremacy and absolute coonery.
But in the media,
But
it's us
beyond that,
being
what
shown.
you said
We're the
is about,
mascot for it.
please don't do that. This ain't your show and it never will be. So, and once again, as what you said also about, hurting people and black women do this to black men or we do this to each other. Who started an entire genre of music to not only degrade each other as black men, but to degrade black women as well? Who
And
started
shake
gangster rap?
their ass to it. They
Where,
shake
please don't
their
do
ass.
that. If you unmute yourself again, Kente Cherry, I'm going
I'll
to
leave
cherry
the
pick
fuck.
and drop your ass. All right, cool. Goodbye, Kente Cherry. You can go back to whatever ghetto commune that you came from. Have a great day. But as I was saying, I'm just still going to speak on his point. What he said about black women and black men hurting each other. Let's talk about that. Who created an entire genre of music that was rooted in the degradation of the women that they come from? Rooted in the degradation of their mothers, their sisters, their nieces, their daughters, their girlfriends, their wives, significant others, etc., etc., etc. Black men did that. 304s ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. Get on your knees and do this, that, and the third. All you worth is this, that, and the third. Only casting black women showing their booties, not even showing their faces, booties gyrating and showing and telling black women that that's all they were worth. Is their only worth is what's between their legs. Who did that? I don't remember any genre of music where black women started it and it was only rooted in the degradation of the black man. Where was that? Huh? And then in answer to that, people will say, "Well, what about Megan Thee Stallion? What about Glorilla? Like, what were these women? Did they come before or did they come after? Are they results of what they have seen and what they have been programmed with through the lens of black men? Huh? That's all I need to say. So please get out of here with that whole BS about how I'm not saying that black women haven't hurt black men on an individual basis. Like a black woman hasn't been in a relationship with a black man and hurt his feelings. But if we're talking about collectively, beef and for real. Beef and for real. There's no contest in the harm that black men have caused, not only to themselves, because gangster rap is also the reason why literally millions of black boys and black men are either in the grave or in prison, but also the reason why a whole lot of black women have no self-worth and look at themselves as less than. So let's not do that. Let's not do that.
I
But
got a
I'm gonna
question,
start back
host.
at the top. Yeah, I'll give you I'm gonna give you a minute. I can't take too much more, y'all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question actually. Like why? Like at some point, I understand that we have to like blame ourselves. We can't go nowhere without that. But I feel like we have to blame stuff like the Willie Lynch letter too, that curated the
That's
space
not
for.
real. You know that, right? The Willie Lynch letter is not real. It's not real. You do know
Well,
that, right?
the essence of the thought, what I'm trying to get at, I was just using that for example. But what I'm trying to say is the triangulation. We can just blatantly just say triangulation. If we talk about the triangulation, we'll have to like single that to the oppressor. So I feel like we slap ourselves on the wrist too much and not talk about the actual problems because like they monetize everything we do. If we run too fast, they make a stop. Like if we can make a beat and rap on it, they make you know what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say, whatever. So I feel like we need to talk about the actual things that start the problem, not the post
What
being there.
starts the problem, Mr. No Good? What starts the problem?
The benefits of what YT people see in our everyday living.
What are the benefits that white people see in our everyday living?
I mean, everything like to me, there's common sense. I can say that, but I know everything not coming to everybody. So, like to me, like you said, who started the rap stuff? Like to me, rapping and stuff like that. I get your point. I affirm everything you're saying, but however, I feel that That's just a way of a person to articulate themselves, express themselves. Is they doing it in a good way? I don't think so. I just feel like we need to have these conversations, stop talking past each other, and actually hear what each other trying to say. But
Okay,
I get the point of TikTok for
okay.
that.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like when you said that it's the point of how they express themselves. You can express themselves. You can express yourself through music without saying, "Bitch, get on your knees and suck my dick." Bitches ain't worth nothing.
Yeah,
Bitches ain't
that's
shit.
why I led.
You
That's
can
why I
say
led
more
with
than
they
that.
don't know how to
So
articulate
I
themselves.
don't know exactly what you're saying. The white T man didn't make the black man do anything that he didn't want to do. If the black man didn't want to create gangster rap it and put it out there, he wouldn't have. The problem is that black men are self-serving, selfish, and they only think about themselves in their own pockets. So they said, "Hey, I'm going to destroy the black community. Yes, I'm going to destroy black girls and black boys. Yes, I don't care because my pockets will be right." It had nothing to do with what the white man said or did. And
But
this is what I'm talking about. This is the reason why black men will never be able to do better or succeed, because everything that they have where they have free will to do, you find some way to circle it back around to either blame the white man or your black mother. And that is a problem. Nobody made Dr. Dre and Easy E and all of them Negroes make that music. Nobody made Too Short make that music. Nobody made Dr. Luke make that music. Nobody made them Negroes do that music except for them and their own greed. And because of that, they ruined and destroyed the black community, or had a very big hand in ruining a lot of the black community. It's just that simple. And as far as triangulation, what you use, triangulation, that's not the proper way to use it. What you were saying. All I'm saying is what I keep getting from you is you want to find some way to circle it around to make black women share in the actions of black men. And for me personally, I'm telling every single solitary black woman that is listening, that needs to stop. You are not the same as black men. It is not we. We are not in this together. These men get on these apps every day and talk about, "Hey, if I see you getting the brakes beat off of you, I gotta go home. What I can't, I won't protect. What I can't correct, and all of these other things. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. That's simping. What do I look like taking a woman out to dinner? That's weak. I'm gonna take her out for some coffee and then see if she'll give me the draws, or I'm gonna see if I can get her a McDouble and see if she'll give me some sex for $2.50. These men are not part of us, period. Now, if you know a black man in your personal life, your daddy, your boyfriend, whoever, and he's on the board and you know that because he's been tried and tested, that's something different. But collectively, these black men, it is no we. And I personally want every black woman to stop sharing in their sins. When you have racial debates with white people, the first thing they want to do is talk about how violent the black community is, how this is going on in the black community, and that's going on in the black community. And 99% of the things that those people mention are black male problems and black male problems only. So what I'm saying is there is no we. We ain't French. Ain't no we. Ain't no we. Ain't no we. Until y'all decide to get it together, until y'all fix y'all criminality, till y'all fix the abuse of the women in your community, till you stop making baby mamas. And the thing about it is people love to call black women baby mamas. Do you know the other race of women that black men oftentimes call? They're so submissive. They're so sweet. They're so nice. They're so docile. They do everything that we say. Do you know that whitey women are the face of single mothers now? That's if you take the time to look and you don't look at stats that serve just representing black women poorly. Black men have made so many white women single mothers. Do you know like 92% of white women that have biracial children by black men are single mamas? So that should already tell you right there where the real problem lies. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Black men want to blame everything on black women. Oh, it's your fault that you a baby mama. No, it's not. Because why in the world is when you touch any woman, she's a baby mama? Huh? And that's what I'm saying. Black women have got to stop sharing in the sins of black men. Ain't no we, period. Go get yourself together. Go find out why you toe tagging. Go find out why you unaliving black women. Go find out why you are the least employed race of man in the United States. Go figure out why you can only read Cat in the Hat and that's it. Why your literacy rate is at third grade and less. Go find out all of those things and then come back. Then come back.
But you know
But
that's
right
a
now,
problem by
no.
itself though.
What?
That's a problem by itself. Like we so big on want to play Monopoly. Like these conversations wouldn't be. Huh? You say it's on host?
I just said this is ridiculous.
Oh yeah. So I was saying that like we so big on playing Monopoly, want to stay in the rat race or with the YT people. All I'm saying is once we give that game back, it wouldn't be nothing else said. Like it's hard to beat somebody else at they game. You can only be comfortable in their game. So the to be fair, like broke is a subjective term because nobody will never have the same exact amount of money. You know what I'm saying? The monetary value will never be the same across the board. So when these conversations come up about being broke, I understand that you had to take care of home and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what are we really talking about when we bring these conversations up?
Okay, so this is what I wanted to say about what you said. You know how you said, like, we're not in the same game, like you mentioned a white man and all of that other stuff. The thing about this is that when you have these conversations and you talk about white men and all of that, before we would even be able to discuss any of that, you would have to address the very real issue of black men and their worship of whiteness, their worship of white women, the fact that black men are known everywhere to be white women lovers, white women chasers, to be participating in coonery, to be sellouts, to be buck dancers, tap dancers, all of that. You would have to talk about and talk to black men specifically and unpack their worship of white women, because they will say, oh, quick, it's not the white man I'm worshiping. If you're worshiping their daughters and you're saying that their daughters are better than the women in your own community, you're worshiping the white men as well. So until we can, y'all, not we, excuse me, until y'all can unpack the worship that black men have collectively towards white women, what are we talking about? Y'all love the game. Y'all love playing the game. Y'all love having the babies with these ladies. Y'all love erasing y'all lineage and y'all blackness with these ladies. So I don't understand what we're talking about. Y'all make it seem as if y'all hate the whitey man so much, but y'all don't. Y'all love the white man. Y'all love him
But host,
and
we
y'all love
literally
his
nobody
daughters.
nobody literally have their own autonomy if we being fair. Like if the guy if we neutralize the game written on, take away all monetary value across, nobody will have no problem. Like only people that will want to fight for the system is who? The YT people. So
But you make yourself seem so weak. You make black men sound so weak and can't do nothing. It's again, like she said, it's everybody else's fault. They put this in our mind. They forced us to do this. When are y'all gonna double down and fight back? When are y'all gonna take some autonomy and say, you know what, enough is enough. You're no longer gonna bully me and control me. I'm gonna fight back. Y'all will pick up in a pew pew in a second, in a heartbeat, and unalive other black people in your community, but won't touch the YT man. And I disagree with you, host. They don't love black men. Don't have an affinity for YT women. They're in love with that YT man. If gender role, if being part of the rainbow community was acceptable in the black community, you would see more than with YT men. This is why all of our rainbow celebrity black men are dating YT men. That's who they
Right?
really love. That's who they really have an affinity for. But because they cannot express that publicly, they'll just settle for their YT woman. And like you said, this is why she's a single mother as well. And it's not just the YT woman. Every group of women that the black man gets with becomes a single mother. That's not by coincidence. What that means is that y'all cannot make no group of women happy. Not one group of women that exists, the hood rat ranching ones that y'all call black women, the rich, wealthy suburban white women, the Latinas, the Asians, the Arabs overseas, the third world country women, all of those women become single mothers to the black man. Now that ain't nothing that we as black women need to work on. That's something you need to work on, because when black women date out, she gets married. And not only do she gets married, she stays married. And there's a narrative going around is when the black woman gets with the YT man, she gets married. No, it's when the black woman dates any race of men outside of the black man, she gets married. Welfare didn't take him out the home. Her bonnet didn't take him out the home. She stays married, and they unalive together as old people. That's the black woman's reputation when she walks away from black men. You're the only group of people on the planet They cannot keep a woman happy. They cannot keep a partner happy. So that's not nothing black women needs to work on. Hold on one second. That's not something that black women needs to work on. That's something you need to work on, because she was right. Until y'all can tackle y'all lust for the YT people, for the YT woman, for their YT man, until y'all can explain why, instead of y'all fighting back, y'all decided to love on them instead of fighting back and making your woman your enemy. But that's not by accident. I'll land here. The reason why the black man has propped the black woman up as his natural enemy is because he don't want to face the YT man, because he's a coward, because he's afraid of the YT man. So he wants to punch down on the woman, the black woman, because he knows that she's an unprotected class. Let's just be honest.
All right, all right, all right. I definitely wanted to piggyback off that last thing that you said, and then I'll let Mr. No Good rebut. I definitely agree as far as what you said about the end, because I've seen so many black men talk about, oh, the black woman is the real enemy. Nobody has ever treated black men as poorly as black women and all this other stuff. And I'm thinking, so like when white tea slave masters were buck breaking you and raping you and humiliating you and beating you and strange fruiting you and humiliating you and dehumanizing you, like those that wasn't worse when they were putting out signs that was telling you that, hey, no black people eat here and no dogs, like these weren't problems for you. Like, how is it that? But I really did realize at some point, I don't know when I came to the conclusion, it was that yes, black men are afraid to push back against the white tea power structure because they're afraid of what's going to happen to them. They're afraid of white men. And that's the thing, like, because white men don't have no problem getting active. Like when they upset and they feel like something not right, they get active. Now, I'm not a fan of white tea people. I'm a be honest here. I'm gonna be real with you. I do believe they have done horrible things to us as a people, and I can never respect it and never get behind it. And all of these things that have happened that I've seen even this past week or two lets me know more of the diabolical nature of white tea people. But beyond that, I can say that I do see that white tea men don't have no problem getting active, and they'll get active with whoever and however, and they're willing to unalive about it. However, black men are afraid collectively. Oh, what's going to happen to me? Oh, I can't do it. But they feel like they can get bucked with black women because they know there's no consequence behind it. So they can go unalive a black woman. They can go knock a black woman's teeth out. They can go rape her. They can go abuse her. They can go leave her and make her a single mother and abandon her. They can go get online and make all of these horrible TikToks and talk about how bad black women are and do all of these things, and there'll be no pushback. And that is really, I think that's some like really the number one thing that made me lose respect for the collective of black men is that I don't like a weak person that gets bucked with somebody they feel like they can bully. It's like, you see a bully at school and they see this nerd that's like real skinny, real scared. They want to smack them up. But then when they see somebody that's their own size coming around, then, I can't do nothing to them. Oh, I'm going to leave them alone. Oh, I'm going to be besties with them. And when you ask black men these things, they never have no excuse. All they do is pivot and make excuses and be like, but the black women's, oh, it's so hard. Oh, it's that. No, it's not. You could easily get up and get active. Ain't no way in the world you should be sitting there and these white tea men should be able to unalive you with impunity. No way. But as soon as a black woman even look at you wrong, you talk about, I wouldn't take that off of her. I wouldn't take that off of that black weave wear. Look at her with that hair hat on. I'd knock her teeth in. Would you? Oh, wow. You're really strong. You're really strong against the black women's. But when these white men do something to you, you don't do nothing. When these white women tell you, where you at? Let me see your ID. You don't belong here. No, you can't come in here. Then it's, ma'am,
Yes,
why are you
yes,
doing this,
sir.
ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, no,
What?
no, 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 sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I ain't do nothing, sir. Please leave me alone. No, no, sir. Man, you racist, man. Man, leave me alone, sir. I ain't even do nothing, sir. Please, man, I ain't do nothing, sir. Please, man, stop. I'm sorry, sir.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I'm gonna get to Mr. No Good. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes and then I'm gonna go down here to Zora. Go ahead, Mr. No Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak to something she said. I can't remember exactly how she framed it, But I can't agree with that sentiment. When she said, I forgot exactly what she said about us, but like if you already know it's a stigma on us, anything that like at any point of resistance, that stigma gon' you know what I'm saying, ignite. So it like you can't quantify that in what you said. I can't remember exactly what you said.
White men
And
don't care about stigma. White men don't care about stigma. They be running around here pew pewing up schools every day. Do you know that
exactly.
white
They
teen
they
men
they
make up the
have
biggest percentage of chomos, the biggest percentage of men that look at child abuse material. They make up the biggest percentage of rapists and everything else, the biggest percentage of people that engage in what is it? What is it can I say? Smincest. They and
exactly,
they and
Jose.
they don't
And
care.
you're
So
smart,
why do
Jose.
you
You
care?
smart. You smart, right? You're very informative,
So
very intelligent. So
why would stigma stop a black man from fighting back when these white tea people are gonna look at you like a violent monkey no matter what? That's excuses.
exactly
That's
because they
excuses. That's excuses to be weak. Why
can.
do you care what a white man think of you? Why do you care what a white woman think about you? Why
That
do you
wasn't
care
the
about
point. That
anybody
wasn't the
think
point,
about
Jose.
you?
That wasn't the point. So my point
Do you know
is,
what stigma means? Or maybe you don't know what stigma means. I don't know.
I
Because
mean,
that's
I
what it means.
used it. I used it in the correct
That
sentence.
then
But
stigma,
anyway,
what do you mean? Like you said, there's a stigma that comes
if
along
you
with it,
okay,
which means
if you
that you
don't
would
want me to
care.
use the word, if you don't want me to use the word, or you want me to use the definition to create the sentence, I can do that. However you want to do
I'd
it.
rather you do that because I don't know where you're coming from then.
So
Because, yeah,
if you already know that black men have these negative things going against them, it can be one thing that black man did, and you'll turn that narrative into that by itself. When in reality, it might have been just a bad day.
I
You know
just
what I'm
said
saying?
who cares about what anybody thinks of you? Why
Exactly,
would you
but
let
hear
that
me out,
stop you
host.
from doing it?
Hear me out, host. I had something else to go with that. It gonna further the point.
All right.
So with YT people, they have a neutralizer. Black people don't have a neutralizer. They have YT privilege. We don't have nothing like that in existence for us. But I wanted to move away from that. Like 2020 was an experiment. So I feel like look at how many people had 20K plus then. Like that tell you alone, it's an example inside an example, right? So just think about it. The doctrine is not there. You know what I'm saying? You can get all this information, education, money. It doesn't matter if your doctrine is not set on reality. And reality is subjective. But if you're not, man, I lost my thought.
Okay. I'm gonna
I
go ahead
lost my
and give
thought, man.
everybody.
God
That's
damn.
all right. I'm gonna give everybody the definition of stigma really quickly. The definition of stigma is a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. So if stigma means, if you would say that, like, hey, there's a certain stigma, there's a certain disgrace associated with being a black person, right? So you would say, hey, there's a certain stigma with black men acting violent. So I don't want to act violent and prove their point. What I was trying to say is, who cares what white tea people who are the reason why STDs are in existence because of their affinity for having intercourse with animals? Why would you care about what people that still touch on their animals to this day have to say? Do you know how many white tea women get exposed? And you can look this up online. How many white tea women to this day in 2025 get exposed for having intercourse with their dogs? Huh? Do you know it's a
Yeah,
whole lot of them?
bestiality is a thing.
They just literally were exposed, a married couple, a man and a woman, were exposed for having intercourse with their dogs and also forcing their underage children that were all under the age of 10 to have intercourse with those dogs as well and uploading it to Snapchat. So my thing is, why in the world would you ever care about what those people think about you? But once again, how I'm saying is what I'm getting and what I always get when you talk to black men about fighting, actually fighting back, about actually changing their circumstances, they always reduce it down to I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. I'm scared. I'm unable. Something's going on. And that is the reason why the collective of black men will always and forever be underneath the white man's boot. Because of that ideology right there. Y'all are completely conquered. Y'all are completely buck broken. And y'all are frightened and terrified of the white man. And that is actually so horrific and so terrible and so embarrassing. And I don't know what happened to y'all. I really don't know, but it's ridiculous. But let me keep going. I'm gonna go down here to Zora. Go ahead, Zora.
Him up. I had a question, but I think you answered it. My question to him was going to be: is there any difference between men and women?
You said in it. What? Can you
Difference?
can you
Any
provide some
difference?
more
Any?
clarity?
Just any difference? Not physically in the society. Is there any difference in a patriarchy?
In my personal opinion, no.
Okay, that's why. So that makes sense because then that means that other groups of men see BOK men as societal women. They see you guys as like literally not men. I've heard them talk about it over and over. They say there's no difference between you and the position of women. In fact, you're underneath another group of women because of your behavior. So that does track. I was interested in listening to them answer the question, but what they're saying, all I've heard them say literally is that white tea men are better and dominant and superior, and there's nothing they can do but to play their role, which is the inferior. So basically, they are the femboys of white teen men's patriarchy. That's what they're saying. And that's they're comfortable in that position. And why should we say anything to add to the world knowing that that's their actual position? We should be quiet and only let white tea men and white tea women, who, by the way, when they have smacks with BOK men, they say it and speak about BOK men as if they're practicing bestiality anyway. So I guess they really, I mean, what can they do? If that's the way that they think and feel about themselves, that they are actually naturally underneath another group of men because they actually are not men themselves.
I mean, they giving us. I mean, not us. I'm different. I'm a unicorn. They giving us dick and bubble gum. So there's a lot of men out here that's
And
comfortable.
that's enough for you to sell out the women and children, and that's fine too. I'm just taking notes. So eggplant and bubblegum is why BOK men sold out the women and children of their community. I mean, that's really cheap, to be honest. You're not a PIMP, you're a cheap hoe. That's really what you're saying. I'm sorry, Trigger. You're a cheap 304. It's
I
what
can
you're
agree with
saying.
that.
And BOK women should stop looking to you to be anything but that. So basically, we need to be, as Coach T said, you need to be on a choose up program. So we need to literally just, at this point, let me be your manager. YT man, come here. I have one right here for you. I'm gonna take a 70%, okay, Mr. No, and you can get that 30 and get out of the basement that you in. So I'm with you. I'm for you. That's me working with the BOK man. I'm with you.
I mean, see, y'all have the same talking points. Y'all don't. Y'all just be wanting to talk and get y'all shit out. Well, I mean, that's cool too. I understand.
No, I
You
But
know
actually
what?
do.
but
Don't
but
okay,
I
hold
when it
on,
actually
you
mean what
comes
I
guys.
say. I do
when it
mean it.
comes
Like I
to
look
when it
You know
comes to
what?
growth and
Don't do that.
development,
Don't do that, Mr. No Good, because nothing that you
and
said has
open
been
that, and because
prolific.
you're saying
Nothing that you said has
you're
been
telling me what it
intelligent.
is. Yeah. So
I
Yeah,
mean,
like
y'all
we've
listening
allowed
here
you a
is.
lot of time to speak, and you said nothing but make excuses. You said nothing about black men doing anything. You said nothing about standing up to white men. You said nothing. I had to ask you, why are you not going somewhere talking to other black men? You made excuses on why you couldn't do that. You've done nothing this entire life but make excuses. So
I
please
actually
get out
did
of
though,
here.
ho.
You've done nothing but do that. So I don't understand what you mean about getting our stuff off at all. You, the only reason why you even came in this platform and came up here on this live in the first place is to try to make excuses as to why black men are broke and why black men stay cooning. Respectfully, that's the only reason why you came up here, and that's the only thing that you did. Like, I think that the problem is that y'all be thinking that y'all smarter than what y'all are, and that people can't see you for who you are. Every person, every woman that's on this panel can see that's what you came up here for. But for some reason, you're under this illusion or delusion, maybe,
Oh
that
hell.
somehow you're fooling somebody. You're not. You're not. And just like you said earlier, you didn't even know what stigma meant. And that's what I'm saying. We can't have a conversation with somebody that doesn't even know what a bottom tier word like stigma means. That means that this conversation is intellectually above your pay grade. And I also think that's another problem as well, is that there is such a disconnect with the majority of black men's intelligence and education level that it's impossible to have a really thought-provoking, intelligent conversation that requires intellect and critical thinking, because a lot of them just don't have the education. They don't have the mind process. They don't have the thoughts to be able to even process what you're saying to them. They don't
I
even have
mean,
the vocabulary.
listen
Half
to
the
this though,
words that
ho.
you may say to them, they may have to go ahead and get the dictionary and look it up and find out exactly what you're talking about, because they may not even understand what you're saying. And that
But
to me also is a problem, because how in the world are these supposed to be the men that are supposed to be improve the black community when they can't even read a college level book? And not and how can they do that if they're not even educated on anything? Like I said,
But listen to this. How
they
can
can,
I
they
add
can,
something to what you
I'll
said,
move in a
host?
second, that they can recite LeBron James stats. They can talk about Steph Curry and when he did his last triple double and when he did this, that, and the third. Or they can talk about Cam Newton and what he used to do and how he fumbled the Super Bowl and this, that, and the third. They can tell you all of that. They can tell you their favorite NBA 2K player and how they customized them. But they can't tell you anything worth anything. They can't tell you about what's going on in the world. They can't give you any type of information. They can't tell you about the last informative book that they read that improved their life or nothing like that. And that's a problem as well, because how would we be able to succeed, since we're talking about we, how would we succeed as a people if the men in the community are grossly uneducated? Go ahead, Mr. No Good. I'm going to give you a minute and then I'm going to go to Chilotam.
Yeah, I think I spoke in perfect context. And then, however,
You didn't.
okay, even if I did, you can take what I said and take it metaphorically. The message still gonna stand for what it stands for. However, um, if you understand the message itself, even if I use the word out of place, the message still should have voice. Instead of trying to tell a person down that's doing the opposite of what y'all saying, I mean that's pretty telling on who's actually adding to the problem. Not saying it in a bad manner, but I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Once again, Mr. No Good, what you do is you do a lot of word salad. You string a whole bunch of nonsensical words together to try to make some type of point, and the point never hits home. The only thing that I want you to take out of this entire conversation is that if we want to talk about a collective of people, since you want to mention we, I'm not going to include me in there, but I'm going to say you and the rest of your brethren, y'all are weak, conquered, and buck broken. And that is something that you and other black men like yourself need to work on and figure out what to do. Because if you don't, you're always going to be underneath the white man's boot. The white man is always going to be able to smack you up. The white man is always going to be able to stop you at and frisk you and dig in your pockets and dehumanize you and even put you in the dirt and get no consequences behind it, because they know to do that, there'll be no consequences behind them doing it, because y'all will be somewhere in a corner crying and hooting and hollering and begging black women to rally and march for y'all and be on the front lines. And that is really something that you need to get and understand. This isn't about you and your skewed perspective on what life is or what it is as a black man, or making all these excuses for why black men have all of these stats, horrible stats going on. Like, I just don't get it. Like, accept the truth and deal with it. Like, I'm not your mama. I'm not going to coddle you, bro. Like, and that's all I'm trying to say. And I think that most black women are done with that and are not going to do that. Period. And it's really just that simple. Like, there's a lot of things that you need to work on with yourself as a man, and other men that you know need to work on with themselves as men. But you're not going to find the solutions to that here at all. And we weren't getting off anything. Any black woman that spoke up here today told you the truth about what's really going on. Not emotional, with facts, stats, logic, reality. And you want to say, oh, y'all just want to, if you want to call getting the truth off, getting it off, I guess. But nothing that anyone said wasn't rooted in absolute fact. And that's the
I mean,
problem.
you said I didn't use stigma right when in fact I did, but
You didn't. You didn't.
that's not here nor there. I'm not here for
You
the debate.
didn't use stigma right. Because when I told you, I said, hey, you said there's a stigma around black men doing that. And then I said, yeah, I said, so stigma means that you're afraid of what the white man is going to think about you. And you said, oh, no, that's not what it is. That's not what I meant when I said stigma.
I
That's
never
exactly
said
what you
that.
meant when you said stigma.
I
You
never
then I
said that.
guess now you're proving my point that you are afraid of what the white man thinks about you, right?
No,
So either way, I'm right.
when I use stigma, I just used it as it's a thought collectively on black men that they do certain things. And if you already know that, you're gonna preemptively think. So if you can bridge those two thoughts together, you get exactly what I'm saying. That's not
And
hard.
that's weak. That's what I'm telling you. That's weak behavior.
But that's
Because
Jazz
why do
Dog
you
point though.
care?
That was
What
Jazz
do
Dog point.
what I'm asking you is, do white people preemptively think about what black people are going to think of them? No. Do white men think, oh my gosh, I can't make this move, I can't do this action
But
because
they not
black
oppressed.
people are going to
That's
think of
not a
me
good
poorly?
point, host. That's not a good point. They never been oppressed. They can't be oppressed.
What? What are you
Racism,
talking
racism
about?
can't
Oh my
exist
goodness.
for white T people.
It
Like
doesn't matter if black people have been oppressed or not, sir. At some point, you've got to stand for something. At some point, you got to pull your drawers up and hold your nuts and say, you know what? Damn it. I'm not going to let these white men play with me like that no more. We going to stand for something. We going to let them know that you can't come in our community. You can't unalive us. You can't rape us. You can't unalive our children and get away scot-free. So at some point, you've got to do that, period, regardless of oppression. Because if you hide behind the excuse of being oppressed forever, then you will be what? Oppressed forever. That doesn't make sense to you?
I mean,
I
it
can't even
does.
talk
It
to you no
made
more.
perfect sense, host,
I
and I
can't
just
talk to
want
you
to
no
take
more.
it.
I can't do it. I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. I can't talk to you no more. Let me go down here to Chilotam, and then I'm gonna go to Zora because I think she has something to say. I'll give you 3 minutes, Chilotam. Try to stick with the time so I can make sure I get everybody again. Go ahead, Chilotam. I can't talk to him no more. It's just the stupidity is just too strong. It's ridiculous. I just can't. Are you there, Chilotam? If not, I'm gonna drop you and then come back, sis. All right. Okay, so I'll drop her. Come back, sis. When you get back. Okay, go ahead, Zora.
You know what it is, Trigger? It's like they want to live in their own reality. That's why it's so irritating because we know that the community looks the way it does because of that exact mindset that he's saying. One, that he does not know how to use words, that he doesn't know the definition. You had to literally tell him what stigma was, and he was using it wrong. He used the word triangulation, and then he says he goes to, okay, if you can't accept the fact that these words are not the definitions, then go to the metaphor. He don't even know what a metaphor is. Because what metaphor is stigma? What are you talking about? This is what I'm saying. And I think that's the anger part. It's like when you wake up and you realize, for instance, that three BOK males, after, the whole thing with Kirk, got, I'll say, became tree ornaments, including a child. And this is their response to say that it never occurs to them, and they know the truth because that's why he laughed initially, because he had to sit with it. You said something to him that punched him in the gut and chest, which is that it's not a stigma because, and that's why you're afraid. You're afraid, and that's the reality. It's not a stigma. A stigma is something that's applied to you, and that disgraces you. But you don't have any grace or pride to even have shame. That is the actual accurate read of your behavior. And white people not being oppressed is crazy because they started with each other. They practiced on each other. If you understand the way that the fractions work within their communities of the Italians, the Irish do not F with the British at all. What are we talking about? Right? The way they use each other to even do their dirty work, they don't even like each other. They've oppressed each other and been oppressed by each other. They also are other groups of people and cultures that have been oppressed by them. Why are you the one? Why are you talking to the women about what is not happening? It's so, I'm with you. Like, I feel the emotion in the room because he's like speaking and he's trying to like speak out of his condition, but he's speaking out of his condition. It's too much for you to say that we don't understand these words as if you can create your own reality. And the only place you can create your own reality is literally with BOK women, because you can't create it with white C men. You wouldn't have, if we were white C men, you wouldn't have been like, oh no, use the word stigma metaphorically. Like, you wouldn't even be playing those games, but you know not to play them because he set a standard that his words and definitions mean something and he stands on it. So yeah, you're dumb. That's the word, right? And I'm standing on it. You're dumb and a
I like
coward.
I
All right.
like
I
to
got
jump
you. I
in.
got you. Yeah, you can go ahead, Jazz Doll, because he said something in the comments that like we were proving you wrong or something. I'm not quite for sure what he meant.
Yeah, I didn't know what you was talking about either. But I
Yeah,
will say
yeah.
this.
Bring the conversation back where you said about black
Hold on,
men make.
hold on. I'm gonna let Jazz Doll finish, and then we're gonna get to somebody else.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead, Jazz Doll.
here's the thing. Y'all are too cowardly to fight back. But you don't have to physically fight back. You know one thing that black men can do? Hit YT men in their pockets. Right? See, Colin Kaepernick, half of the black side of him said, I'm gonna take a knee, right? Even though that's very docile as well. If black men collectively had walked off that NFL field, the waves it would have made. See, it's two things. It's two ways to take down the YT man: with his money and his animals. You can have his woman. That's why he legalized interracial marriage. You can have his children. That's why he'll get rid of them with a life insurance check. Understand, but don't play with his money and don't play with his animals. Those are the two ways you could have took down YT people. Y'all could have been stopped throwing them balls across the court, and that would have made all time. Get rid of Monday football. Get rid of Sunday night football and see what happened. And you tell them until my people stop getting unalive, until my women stop being unalive, giving birth to our children, there will be no more sports. And once you see them white boys be up in them hospitals, the white boys be right there at them police stops like, hey, what you doing? Right? But see, y'all are too cavalier and shucking and jiving, wanting to do the YT man's bidding, right? So we got to be honest when we have this conversation. The white woman is the most powerfulest woman in this world, yet black women are outpacing her. So it's no excuses. We're more educated than she is. We're becoming more faster home owners than she is. We're becoming the bigger entrepreneurs than she is, and she has the man with all the power. Meanwhile, the white woman has not been able to influence the black woman to do a goddamn thing. So those excuses that you gave were none and void. They made no sense. And you want to talk about stigma? Let a Ray Ray walk past you and step on your J's. His brains will be splattered all across that concrete ground. Y'all have no problems. Y'all have no problems with stigma when it comes to taking out your own people. But then when the host asks you about what are you going to do about what's happening to your people, oh well, I can't. Well, they don't always be racist. Willie Lynch letter and all this stupidity. That's straight. You're the walking definition of a coward. Y'all are treasonous cowards, and that's where the problem lies. And the fact that I had to sit here and say, "Hey, hit him in his pockets, mess with them dogs." That'll wake that YT man up. The fact that I don't hear black men talking like that lets you know y'all have not even made the YT man your enemy. The YT man is your friend, your something you want to honor, something that you want to marry into, and that's why y'all fall short. I land.
All right, all right. I got you, Jazz Doll. I definitely agree. I'm gonna go up here to Kalandra. Go ahead, Kalandra.
Behind other races of men financially because I think black men don't take accountability and they're losers. And I think they always blame somebody else for where they are in life. Is what I'm saying? Black women, we try, we overcome. We dealing with acism and exism, and we still making it more than them, and they not. But like I said, one thing about them, they don't take no accountability. It's always somebody's fault for where they at. It's always somebody else's fault. And I think they have low racial self-esteem is because they haven't made it to where they are yet. And so therefore when they're looking at other groups of men and you looking at yourself, you know you a loser. And so it's hard. They're not leaders in no regard. You ain't no leader if you get mad because women don't want to go 50-50 with you. They're not leaders in anything. They're losers and liars. And I think they know they losers, and when you're not. One thing I'm gonna say about people is you're the most honest person with yourself, unless you live in delusion. And at the end of the day, when you're in the bed at night, you telling yourself everything right there. But yeah.
Let me say this real quick. I don't want to take nobody's time.
Oh,
The
sorry.
only,
I
the
thought I was
only.
talking. I thought I was muted. Lord have mercy.
Let,
Yeah.
let,
I mean, I give you 1 minute, Jazz Doll, because I got to go to Miss Reed and Gabrielle.
I don't even need a minute. The only thing that I disagree with you with on kind of the lady at the very top. Black men don't watch nothing other races of men do. Nothing. They don't. They watch their women, but they don't care about nothing that other races of men are doing. They not gonna do it, which is building, which is protecting, which is providing. That's not in black men's DNA to watch other men and mimic them. That's all I got.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me go up here to Miss Reed. And well, you know what? I will say this is I I agree with Kalandra to a point. I forgot to say this. Because I believe that black men's version of red pill is an adaptation of what they see white T men do, which they hope and wish that they can attain that type of power, but they will never be able to do it. And they thought that they would somehow be able to weaponize the white T man's way of how he was treating white women, that they were going to be able to turn around and do that to black women. But because black women are strong. I hate the describe black women as strong because sometimes it has a negative connotation, but I mean it in a positive way. But because black women are strong and because black women have a warrior spirit and they are not easily broken the way white tea women are, then black men were not able to copy that blueprint of oppression that they saw the white man do to the white woman. So that's why when they talk about red pill, I want the women to be back like the 50s. Black men, you never had it like that. Black women were never standing there and just letting y'all as a collective, letting y'all just do whatever y'all want without saying nothing. Black women not going for that. Period. And I think that is something that they do care about and they do want to copy. They just can't because the majority of black women ain't going for that. You know what I mean? But let me go up here to Miss Reed and then Gabrielle. Go ahead, Miss Reed, if you had something to say, sis.
Hi. I pretty much agree with all the ladies on the panel. I just feel like BMs, black males, they can't talk about what the problem is or what a solution is without involving every.
I think she might have got a phone call or something. You there, Miss Reed? If not, I'll just drop you down since I got a full house, and then you can request back up. Yeah. Okay, so let me go down here to Gabrielle. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, so one thing that has actually stood out to me about all of this, because I've been carefully listening, is just the irony of it all. Like when you go in these like male spaces, especially like the Red Pill and the Manosphere and like any other adjacent groups, they're constantly talking about how they think women don't take accountability. They'll post these memes like, oh, 100 women versus accountability, but yet all of the males in here are triggered like when you've been giving them like stats and facts and pointing stuff out, like not once has I think there's been like two males in here. Not once has one of them said, yes, this is an issue that we have as BLK men. Yes, this is an issue that we need to work on. Like they have been twisting themselves into pretzels to try to make it a we issue, we, the community. There is no we. Like there are very clear and distinct differences. And like Trigger was saying, like even when you look at things like crime weights, that is like overwhelmingly males committing those crimes. So I just think it's funny that they BLK males and especially those like in the red pill manosphere spaces will talk about say all this stuff about like women need to take accountability and women don't like the hard truth, all of this stuff. But then when we actually give them the hard truth of like how they are doing socioeconomically, how they're doing when it comes to their literacy rates, how they're doing socially when they have to, move through the world and interact with other people, then all of a sudden the excuses come out, the blame game comes out, and yet not one of them has been able to explain why there is such a discrepancy between BLK males and BLK women when it comes to things like home ownership rates, like education rates, like, the differences in incarceration rates. We know that it's declining for us. It's just, I would love for literally any male here. I think there's like one male here to explain the differences in those categories I just listed without trying to make it a we issue. Like this, there is no we. So I really don't think the male on here is going to be able to give like a real concrete explanation that addresses those discrepancies without trying to, do whataboutism or, trying to make it about something else or trying to make it a collective we thing. But if he can, I would love to hear what he thinks is the underlying cause between BLK women leading in education, leading in home ownership rates, and like our incarceration rates declining, whereas it's basically the inverse for BLK males. But I'm just curious about that.
All right. I got you, Gabrielle. And I did want to say something real quick though, about the weed thing. Something that I also find very concerning, in the black community, especially in regards to black men, is that ain't no we if it's positive, right? And it applies to black men. If you notice that when we talk about the most desirable and all that other BS, black men, when they were saying, oh, we're the most desirable, but not you. It was never we. It's oh, you're talking about blackness and you're talking about black men being desirable, but then that means that black women by default are desirable since they're our mothers and they share the same features. No, every Negro everywhere was talking about, nah, black woman. That don't mean you. It's only us. We're the most desirable men on the planet, but yet black women's, y'all are the least desirable. Nobody wants y'all, but everybody wants us. We had that. And that's my thing is that I don't understand why. But then when black men are unaliving everybody, toe tagging everybody, going to concerts and acting a fool, going to clubs and pulling out the blick and shooting up the whole party, and everybody running scared and they doing all of this stuff, then it's we. Now it's we as the black community. We gotta fight together as one. We gotta fight together this unaliving epidemic. We gotta fight this epidemic of people selling illegal substances in the black community. Oh, all of these carjackings. We gotta talk about why we as a community are carjacking peoples. No, that is you. And that's my thing. That is the reason why I really, truly believe that black women have really got to stop sharing in the sins of black men. Because if there's a positive that black men can spin onto them, it will always be separate from you, sister. They will always make sure that they will say that it is you, that it's not you. It's just them. The only time they want to include black women is when it's something negative and nasty and bogus. And that is a problem, a huge problem. But let me
Or
go up
the
here
or
to,
one second,
I,
the only time if they do acknowledge that it's a black man doing something wrong, they'll say,
Well, who raised them? Who raised them?
yes,
He
which
was
once
raised by a
again,
single mama.
yes, and once again, that is putting the fault on a black woman. Like I said, there's no way they get around it. Anytime it's something negative, they gonna find some way to put it back there, but nothing positive. Anything there's something positive to be said, black men are always gonna center themselves and leave black women out of it. Let me go up here to Zora. Go ahead, Zora. Go ahead, sis.
I just wanted to address something in the comments about, because I said that it's on topic that white men fight their own physical battle against other races, and I do mean it. I mean historically. And then Dee was saying that, oh no, they get other people to fight it, and then kind of deflects. No, we have to stop telling a different type of history. BOK men have BOK women and children on the front line of their battle with other men. You can't even point to a time or a place where the white T man had his mother and daughter on the front line in front of him and he's behind her in a battle. He rode out on that horse by himself. He had the woman, wife, daughter, whoever cut out the two eyes in the sheets. What are we talking about? Like, that really irritates me because we're talking about this thing about why they're like this, and then we have women who are just like really been like, oh, we shouldn't. I think what their comment was, we shouldn't, as if the panel is doing this, we shouldn't like model ourselves after white T people. Do you know you're talking to people who don't F with white T supremacy? So what are you talking about? I'm saying that as men, they do need to take notes. And as women, we can take notes about coddling them. Yes, we can learn something from white T people, white T women particularly, about they will coddle their men as long as they're on the top. They call him all kind of stuff if they're at the bottom. So no, we do need to learn to stop sharing history with them. That's not our history. It's not our history. That is not our history. There is differences.
I think that was projection, Zora, because see, black men like to fight other men through women. That's projection. See, white men don't use their women to fight. White men don't go for women. White men go straight for the man.
Come
So
on.
because black men fight with their eggplant, remember they'll say, "Oh, we getting back at the YT man by sleeping with the white woman." That's the most docile, weakest way of fighting I've ever heard of. So because they like to go through women, they think that all men do that. And other races of men don't do that. When other races of men want to subjugate somebody, they go straight for the men.
Hello. And it's a woman it's a BOK woman who's saying it. That's what I'm saying. Like, stop it. We got to stop. We have to, because then we get Mr. Nobody or whatever. I can't see the rest of his name. Mr. No, take that or take deep or whatever. Take that, take that. We get him.
Zora, I'm gonna need you to stop it.
Okay. It irritates me because we get like, as this conversation amongst BOK women, we get labeled by other BOK women as like, oh, you're putting too much on the white tea man. You go in on the white tea people too, and then so do I. And now what? Now we did that. Now what? Like, please stop. Like, it's really too much. Like, I've seen examples where they do some of these serial unaliver cases. This is what what is that, y'all? I'm sorry. Let me go on mute. I don't get it. I don't understand what that
I'm
is.
still, I'm still you. Oh, I'm sorry. You still blew me when you said take. Oh my goodness, Zora. You know what? You be low key so shady and so funny that it is just so
People don't
hilarious.
be
Like,
catching it.
I
People don't.
cannot even take it. Like, that was so funny. I had to mute myself because I was hollering. I was hollering too much. And I didn't want y'all to hear that. Oh my goodness. Whoo, Lord. That was just too funny. Jeez Louise. Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. All right, let me we said a lot, man. So let me go down here to Mr. No Good, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this because I've already approached 2 hours, and I just, I just wanted to talk about this because, like I already told you guys, the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because there was a live going on about black women. Now, I told you I've seen plenty of horrible lies about black women on TikTok, but the one that I saw today was probably top three worst I ever seen. It might even be top number one. And I was like, that's it. So from now on, at least once a week, I'm going to do an equally disrespectful live because I don't even be talking about black men like that. To be honest with you, I just talk about the truth, but I don't actually try to be nasty and ignorant with them. Yeah. So it was like they were talking about black women and them wearing weaves and wigs and lashes and how they want to be like white women, how black women really want to be the white women and they're not. Hold on, here's the picture. That's the picture right there. So it was like a white man up there, a white Hispanic man up there, and they were saying black women wear cum catcher lashes and they want to be white women. They're not the blueprint. And they were saying the most disgusting things about black women, and these black men that were on the panel were letting these white men and these white Hispanics say the worst things about black women and telling them that, oh, they should date out and all of this other stuff. And it was blowing me because even though all the black women that be here on the panel and everything like that, we say the things that we say about black men. I think because of how we are as black women, we would never let a white person come up here and talk about black people because we would know that is also a reflection on us. However, black men don't have that same reflection. And that is, I think that's what makes me the maddest the most, because no matter how badly I don't want to be like that, I don't think I could ever let a white woman just come up here and just start talking about black people. Whether it was black women or black men, I couldn't let it go on. And black men don't even have that bottom line of decency or racial self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna let Mr.
I'm
No Good speak,
sorry.
but he dropped. So he
I'm
Mr. No Good
sorry.
dropped. I
Did
didn't
they
drop him.
use a picture of white women who are bleached, like who done sat in the tanning salon to get darker? Is that? Oh my God, they did.
They burnt. Look at the one, two, four.
Look
Look at the
at
fourth
they
one. Look at
skin
that fourth one. She orange.
You are saying that someone is hating on someone who's sitting in tanning rooms to get darker? What type? Oh my God.
Yes, and then
That stuff is
2%. And then when they talk about like black women being blind and stuff like that, and that's like black women copying off of white women, 2%, less than 2% of the population globally, do you hear me? Globally is blind. So nobody's blind because blind is a mutation. So it's like, what are y'all talking about? Like, I honestly, that live was so terrible, man. That live blew my mind. I was so freaking
How
mad.
many black men were in it?
Okay, so the host was black, and then it was
What?
like two other black men there, then it was a white man there, and then it was a Hispanic man there, and two black women, two goofy black women
This self hate
trying
be
to
real.
trying to explain to these men about why black women aren't bad for wearing weaves and wigs. And that black women are people. Like they try to convince these people of their humanity, which they'll never see.
First of all, stand any of them white women that was in that picture next to Beyonce as blondes. They both blondes, and they wouldn't even exist next to Beyonce. Let's start there. Number two,
Facts.
them same white women, by the time they hit the age of 30, they're looking like they about 70 years old. So you can have it. It's not surprising because black men have always celebrated YT men who bash black women, or that's just what it's they are rooted in anti-blackness. And the thing about it is, black women, what are you gonna do about it? I'm married. I married out. I'm done. I wasn't finna take it. I don't got no ties to a black man. I don't got no black sons. Let's be very clear. So I don't have that emotional connection and oh my son is black. Oh my father is Creole. So I don't have no ties to a black man. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm done. And even if I did, I would still feel the same way. It's okay to love who you are, black women. It's okay to love your lineage. And I still think black men are the most attractive men on this planet. Let's be very clear, even though my husband is not black, right? But my self esteem is way too high to deal with this. Because a lot of us will sit up and talk about them and only deal with them, which makes them the prize. That literally makes them the prize. And
Yep.
they're saying this. They're saying, "Oh, y'all sit up and y'all talk about us, but y'all still fuck with us though." So that's we have to deal with that. We
I
have to
mean,
deal with that.
I definitely agree. I think though having lives like this is very helpful because I think that the number one thing that we should be doing as black women is if we can to like younger black women or even black women that are impressionable and may I don't like to say guidance because that sounds like maybe kind of degrading, but I mean it in the nicest way possible. Maybe some black women that need guidance that we really need to help other black women to see the beauty in themselves and to have a high self-esteem and a high self-image about themselves. That way that no matter who they're dating, whether they choose to date a black man or a white man or an Asian man or whoever, that regardless of whatever man they choose, that man is equal. That is their standards are high. And that man can hit everything that they want and dream and desire in a man to treat them properly and that they're not being mistreated. And I think that is a huge problem in the black community that a lot of black women have very low self-esteem and low self-worth because that's exactly how black men have set it up. And so that because the lower they have black women's self-worth, the more they can get black women to tolerate, the more mistreatment a black woman will accept. That's why there are so many black women that think that cheating is normal, that's just something that goes in a relationship, or a man putting his hands on you is something that you just have to accept in a relationship. Oh, it's okay, he don't really punch me, but he's pushed me, slapped me, or he calls me out of my name. It's not that big a deal. So I think that if we can help other black women to see their worth and their value, and we all kind of rally around each of our sisters like in a big circle, hug them, pour into them, then maybe we can help them to avoid being mistreated by any race of man. Because I have no problems with black women dating out. I think that the only way that black men will even respect black women is to know that not all black women are just going to be like, oh, I'm just waiting on a black man. So I'm not against black women dating out at all, but I will say that the low self-esteem and the pick me nature and the nature to coddle that black women have been instilled in collectively, that doesn't just stop with black men. There are plenty of black women that have dated out that do the exact same things and also get hurt and harmed. So I think the main thing to stop all of this, and I don't care about what black men are doing, because we can't change them collectively. I believe that really, if y'all want me to be honest, I believe that black men as a collective right now we're beyond saving. I believe that a black man is going to be all right and he's going to be a good man or quote unquote good man, whatever you want to call it, he's going to be that way regardless. There's nothing that you can do or say on either end of the spectrum to get him to be that way. I don't believe it's possible. So I don't want to focus on them. I just rather us focus on each other and like pouring into each other, and women that we see that look vulnerable, or they have low self-esteem, or they think badly about themselves, pouring into them and telling them, hey sister, like, you all of that, don't take nothing off of such and such and such and such, whatever color he may be. I think that's our best route, is to build self-esteem, because everybody seeks to put down black women. Like, somebody in the comments said that, like, they said that, like, African men and white men love black women's hair only. And that's the stupidest, dumbest thing anybody could say.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's not
loves
true.
black hair collectively. Now, I think that black women,
Well,
we've
that's a
begun
lie.
to love our hair. You know what I'm saying? But to tell these fantasy lies that the collective of white men love black hair, you're a goofy. To even say the African men do, that's also stupid, because that's not true either. African nations have a whole lot of self-hatred problems. So my thing is that we can't do that. So I think that, once again, the main thing that we can do is love ourselves. And if you have a lot of self-love, if any of the ladies on the panel, you all of that in the bag of chips. I know every last black woman that's up here right now, it's all of that in the bag of chips. So if you know that, then I think it's almost like, I'm not saying it's your duty, because you don't have to do this, but I think it would be nice if you would try to help pour into other black women. And I think that's how we could begin to make a change. But that's just my opinion. But if anybody has anything to say, y'all can, because I'm about to
Let
end the
me
slide.
let me say this real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, I 100% agree with you, right? And I think if you're going to date out, and I say this on other lives I've been on, you got to go in the relationship healed. You got to go in a relationship knowing who you are, and you cannot walk into a interracial relationship thinking that that man is better simply because they're not black. You're gonna fool yourself with that mindset. So you have to have the self-esteem, right? I understand black women have been beat down. It's crazy because what you just said, Trigger, is what made me decide to date out. When you said, how did you word it? You said black men are not going to change. That's just who they are. Once I realized that, I was like, oh, my time is up, right? Because and it's crazy because I'm an attractive black woman. I've never had issues with black men. Not until the era of COVID and what's his name, Kevin Samuels. Once Kevin Samuels came out, then I started getting hit with the, so what's your body count? Rate yourself from 1 to 10. Do you deserve a high value man? Ain't nobody finna talk to me like that. You out your mind. So that was, and it's crazy because I said a couple of years ago, I was like, let me just try and see what this dating other races is like. I never really was into YT men. My husband is not YT. And so I was just like, I don't, the black in me ain't gonna really be interested in that right there. So I was like, well, let me just try different races of men. But I gave YT men a try too, but I just knew in the back of my head that wasn't it. I met a guy. I actually had been knowing him since we were teenagers. We kind of ran back into each other, started dating, and it was a total difference. It was a 50-50. What is that? It was it's my job as a man to take care of you. It's my job as a man to be a provider. It's my job to protect you and have provision. I'm not even going to approach you unless I know who I am, unless I know what I got and know what I can do. Versus black men saying, well, if I pay all the bills, that means I can have multiple women. If I do this, it was a total culture shock because at that point I had thought all men were the same and they all think the same, but it was a total difference. And I had to learn, whoa, I get to be in my soft girl era. I get to relax. I get to chill and just, you know, just chill. No one, he wasn't asking for submission. That conversation ain't never came up 2.5 years ago, and it ain't came up now. None about being submissive and do what I say. None of all that stuff. I ain't heard nothing like that. So I say, black women, I'm not promoting divesting. I'm not promoting swirling. That is definitely not me. However, I don't want black women to give up on love. whether it's a black man, a foreign black man, or a non-black man. Don't give up on love because these group of men are deciding to not be who they're supposed to be. That's all I'm going. But again, go in any situation healed, knowing who you are, and never worship a man.
All right, all right. I got you. I got you. I see there was two black women in the box, Miss D, and also a new person, Tay. So I'm going to let everybody speak before I get out of here. I'll start at the bottom with Gabrielle went on the thing. So I'll okay, yeah. I'll start with Gabrielle. I'll give everybody 2 minutes and then I'll end the live. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sugar. I think this was a really great and insightful live. I just think it really did, show the differences between BLK males and BLK women. And I think it really just underscored the importance of we can't, let them use the we thing to, rope us into the stuff they have going on. Because as you were saying earlier, when they have something, that they perceive as positive for them, it's never we, it's always, oh, us as quote unquote men. Like I said, I call them males, but they always make sure that the positive things are only pertaining to them as males. But then when something negative comes up, when they have an issue with a police officer, when they run into whatever they run into, then all of a sudden they want to make it a we thing, a community thing. And I just think it's great that, us as BLK women are not falling for it and, are calling out the differences, like I said earlier, socioeconomically, homeownership, education, literacy. Though in each of those areas, there are very, very, very clear differences between BLK men and BLK women. So this live was like I said, really informative. I really enjoyed hearing all the ladies speak. And yeah, I mean, it was great. I don't really have much else to say beyond that, but I'll listen to all the other ladies before you close out.
All right, all right, all right. I got you. I got you, Gabrielle. Thank you so much, sis. It's always a pleasure. All right. Well, I'm gonna go to D. I need clarification.
Yeah, I need some clarity too because bitch, I'm not no pick me, and I'm sorry. I'm not no pick me. I've never been a pick me. So what am I saying? I'm sitting up there saying you shouldn't coddle men. You should not do anything for a man because a man is not gonna respect you. So how am I a pick me?
That was after you said, and I'm not respectively. Yeah, it's giving pick me.
Well,
so
I said what I
I'm not even
said,
trying to be
so
disrespectful.
I'm not
For
a pick
real.
me.
I'm in a good mood, but I'm saying like
I'm glad you're in a good
it's
mood.
giving pick me. Yeah,
I'm not a pick me. How am I
Well, you
pick
asked me a
me?
question. Let me answer it because I was really talking about your commentary earlier with saying, oh, the other men, which me and Jazz Doll had to correct you about the history. Other men did not put the women on the front line. That's what I'm talking about. You said that earlier that other men did it too, other white T men did it too. That's what I'm talking about. And it was unprompted. Like you just felt the need to defend BLK men. I take it as defensive them if you're saying other men behave the same way and they do not with their group of women. Are they bad humans? Yes. Are they better men as defined in a patriarchy? Yes, they are. That's what I'm saying. So that's the part I was saying. But really,
So I wasn't defending black men on anything. I was just basically saying that men in general are bad people.
yeah, but it's
Men.
not needed. You don't think we know that? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's how I'm just saying it's something to deconstruct. It's an instant cape. So I'm not even trying to get at you because
You
really I
know what?
was talking mostly about Tay, but since I'm always gonna put a name on it,
But I'm
because
not a pick me though.
You guys,
Like these
if
people
you
know
have
I'm
some
not a pick
internalized
me.
pickmeism, okay,
you guys,
D, is that better?
So
you guys.
you
I
felt like
just
I
want
was.
to just 1 second, you guys. I respect D. I respect you, Zora. You know I do. I'll just say this. I maybe, sometimes people might say, but now y'all can tell me if I'm wrong here, because I'm not trying to get in y'all business or anything. Like I said, I respect both of you ladies, and I believe in letting all of you guys express yourselves how you want without me trying to speak for y'all because y'all are grown, intelligent women. But I'll just say this. I do feel like sometimes like people might say, all men are bad or all men, when people single out black men specifically, just because there are some women that, because they're mad at black men, they romanticize other races of men and then they end up getting hurt. I don't know if that's where she was coming from, just trying to make sure nobody was doing that. But I don't know, because I have come across some women like that too. But I don't know if that's what y'all, if
I think
that
that's
was
a
the
good
point
point, but
being
that's
said.
not. No, that's
No,
what I was saying. It
no,
was really,
no, no.
but that's not
Zara,
what.
Zara, Zara,
Go
one
ahead,
second.
Jess.
No,
Go ahead,
no,
Jess.
no, no, no. Typically, when you calling out black men, there's some pygmy yelling out, all men do it. It ain't just black men. No, absolutely not. Call it for what it is. That
Okay,
was
all
a
right, Jazz.
pygmy move.
Let me let Zora finish. Go ahead, Zora. What was you saying?
That's what I was gonna say. I think, but we addressed that, right? We had to address, like, if someone was saying something about, oh, you're privileged and white teen men. It's like, no, we get down on all of them. We're gonna tell the truth about BLK men. And you went back and forth with me for quite a while, D. And what I'm saying is that maybe it is pejorative, and I would probably feel some kind of way if somebody called me a pick me. And I've been called. I had some internalized male BLK men centeredness maybe about 10 years ago, and I was like, no. And it was just that I thought that maybe it was a young man who was 18 who I was giving some kind of grace to, and I would never do it again because it was true. That's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't take it as a pejorative. It is true. Like when you ran me down with stuff that was not true, despite me giving you the facts about the fact that they put BOK women and girls on the front line, and no other group of men have done that. Particularly white teen men have not done that. Period. That's what I'm saying. That and your need to kind of go back and forth with history and facts. It is internalized pick-meism. I'm not calling you a pick-me, so I'll take that piece back. But it is pick-meism. It is the need to come into the space and do that. But
So you
anyway, it
were
was
saying,
mostly
Zora, you were
case
saying
like
that you felt like I was like
now
being a pick.
definitely standing on that all the way. All the way. Come on, Tay. You just said we need to help them with their mindset. You said something like we need to help be okay men too.
So
And I was like,
okay, so
no.
I
And you
came in
said
here
with their
like late or
mindset. And you
whatever.
said you're
So
not gonna give it to
I
them
wasn't
on our
in here
people.
the entire chat. I was just saying that like pretty much like with, can I say black man? Because I hear y'all saying abbreviations, so I don't know like if I can.
You can say that, or you can say BMs or whatever. I don't
Okay,
know.
okay.
I don't know what gets us in trouble, with the words and stuff.
Me
But you go ahead.
either. So okay, my bad. So yes, I was just saying like pretty much like at times help them because too I feel like BMs are targeted like heavily when it comes to negative influence.
Oh my
I feel like
God.
that's what
Oh
it
my God.
I mean, I just feel like that. Me personally, I'm not saying that I'm right or anybody's wrong. You get what I'm saying? I just feel like that's what it is. So I feel like at times, yes, like help them. And I feel like too, as BMs, we go at times we can have things that we have to work on too. So I feel like depending on what it is, I'm not saying like stay and just put up with BS, but I'm saying like at times, like I don't know, like help.
Tay, can I say something to you, Tay?
Uh-huh.
Tay, we have for generations, our grandmothers spoke life into black
Okay.
men.
Hold on, Jazz Doll. Okay. Let me just say this. Tay, I want to say this, and I mean this in the most loving way possible. Black women cannot help black men. Black women's word and their thoughts and perspectives aren't even valued in the black community. So, what exactly? How would you help a grown man be something? Like it's impossible. A black man, since we're talking about a black man that's going to be somebody or is going to have a healthy perspective, he's going to do that without your input. He's going to have already formulated that probably in I would say probably like preteen years to teenage years to moving forward to that. It's already going to be set in
Yeah,
stone
I
when you come
agree.
across them. So if you see these type of black men that are around that are dysfunctional and they are 18 and above, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to help and assist them. So to think that you can help them is to put yourself in a position of, and I'm not calling you a mammy, okay? I want you to know that I'm not trying to insult you, but it's putting you in the mode of mammy duties. I'll just say that. That's what you'll be doing because you'll be laboring and mammying and muling for a man that you should be ignoring. You get what I'm saying?
And for
But I would
generation,
never.
and
Um,
for generations, black women have done it. Our grandmothers done it. Our mothers done it, and yet they have not gotten anywhere. Like we talked about earlier, yet their response was, "We're the most desired, and nobody wants you, black women." Like she just told you about a panel of black men where the black man was a host,
Yeah,
and
my
they were
bad. So I
comparing. Right?
wasn't
Hold on one
in
second.
here the whole
Hold on,
time.
hold on, hold on. Say 1 second. Here's the thing. Black men will give you 100 reasons why he can't stand a black woman. Now the black woman will come and give you 100 reasons why she gotta be loyal to him. And that's the problem. That's a grown ass man, right? A grown man. So you gotta allow men to stand on their own 2 feet. This is why they call us masculine. Because we keep trying to fight for them. Be feminine and submissive. Be like their preference. Be like the white woman. And just sit back and be a damsel in distress.
But
Pass
I
out.
feel like you have
Start
to a
All
crying.
man.
right, Jess,
It
I'm gonna
starts
let.
with the
Go
man
ahead,
too,
Tay.
though. You have to be like, you have to be something for me to be submissive to. I'm not saying just be submissive to like anybody. You get what I'm saying? And I understand when you were saying like mammy and like a nigga pretty. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, but like pretty much like being a mammy in a relationship, and I definitely like. I wouldn't say that I would be a mammy in a relationship. However, if there's things that you lack that I'm strong in, I'm going to pick up on that. And I'm sure that if it's things that I lack, you would pick up in, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying
I
like,
mean, I think you mean like
how's a bum?
so you mean in a relationship, but I did want to ask you a question. What is
Mhm.
submissive? Like what is being submissive in a relationship with a man? What does that
My,
look like for you?
so I feel like it is when it is appropriate, I feel like, or when you have a man that you can do that to, allowing him to lead in certain aspects.
Like
Not,
that's what I mean. Like what is he leading you to do?
oh,
Like is he telling you like what to do? Like what like exactly what where's the leading coming in? Like what's he leading you to do? Like if you're submitting to his leadership, what's he doing? Because the reason why
I
I ask
feel
you, Tay, is
like,
because I
because
think so
that
many.
definitely does make sense. And that's why I'm quiet as a bitch. I'm not going to make it seem like, you get what I'm saying? I'm right. I'm right. No.
Yeah,
I feel
but you
like
know
that
what,
definitely
Tay?
makes sense. And I feel like real quick, I feel like maybe submissive is not the word that I should use. I feel like at times when I'm a mom, okay? I got two babies. I'm 27. I just had a newborn, pretty much. I feel like at times, if my head is not on a swivel, trusting his judgment, if he gives, you get what I'm saying? Like if he's stepping with 1 foot forward, like
I do.
trusting his judgment with my head is not like maybe on all the way. It's not
I hear you.
necessarily submissiveness, but it's kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna make it seem like I got the ruler stick and I'm just the head of all heads. Like at times you can guide and you can lead. Like,
Okay, Tay, I'm gonna say this for you.
mhm,
As a woman that's in her 20s, I really want you to unpack like whenever you have the time why you think the things that you think and understand who put it there because the ideas that you have and what you perceive like masculinity and femininity and what your job is as a woman because you said 2 children but I don't think are you married to him?
yes.
Okay, so I think that you have to think about what where you're getting the thoughts that you think that you're supposed to behaving from. And those
Wait,
thoughts,
what
if
you
you
mean
really
behave?
what like okay, so if you think like, oh, he's supposed to lead me or I'm supposed to submit to him or somehow these are duties that I'm supposed to have as a woman, you have to think about because with anytime people have ideas about the ways to like act and move in society, most of the time someone else has put that there. You've been programmed to believe that. So you have to think about the reason why you think that your job is to be submissive as a
And that's
woman
the
or
thing.
you're
I don't
supposed to
really
let
feel
him lead
like
you
it's
is
a thing
because
of
but
me
that's
feeling
because
like
a
I have
man
to
has
be
put it there.
submissive.
Yeah,
I
but I'm
feel
saying
like,
even your whole ideology of the things that you've said, it's clearly been put there by men. And the crazy thing about it is that the way men are able to program women with their ideals, their ideology, certain type of rhetoric, it's never the same. Men don't allow women to program them in those manners. And that is something
I
that
feel like it depends though too.
okay, so where do you see men speaking about the ways that they're going to serve women? do whatever
This
women
the
say,
thing.
bend over
Even
backwards.
even if
Where do you see that
they're not
going
gonna
on?
push
And I
it.
mean
They're not gonna
pervasive
push it.
rhetoric. Just
You
one
get what I'm
second. I
saying?
mean, just a second. I mean
Mhm.
pervasive rhetoric. I don't mean like outlier men. I mean, where do you see the collective of men believing these things? Like what collective of men all around the globe believe that they're supposed to get on their hands and knees and serve and worship women? Where do you
Like it
see that
depends
at
on your
collectively?
environment, honestly.
So you think that there's a certain part of these, because I'm assuming you live in the USA, where there's a large group and demographic of men that
And
believe
that's the
that.
thing. I feel like it's not a large group. However, I feel like it's not a large group because of what's pushed. Do you get what I'm saying?
Who's
Like,
pushing it? The people that are in charge of pushing the rhetoric are men. We live in a patriarchy. So, yeah, exactly. Men aren't pushing it and they're never going to push it. But they will, however, push for you to be submissive. They will, however,
no, when
push
I
for
say
you to feel
push
like
it,
it's your
meaning
duty
like
to be
you
led by
gotta
a
think
man
what's
because that
pushed to our
benefits them.
males, pushed to our young males too. Like
What?
Makes
drill music. You get what I'm
Hey,
saying?
I
Like
don't understand
chasing
what you're saying
after like
about.
BBLs instead
You
of
know what, Tay? I try to give you a little bit of grace, Tay, but like I said, the things that you're saying is disturbing me. Is disturbing my spirit. Like I said, I'm not here to shame you. I'm not here to say certain things that I may be believed to be true because that may not help you. I will just say that outside of this live in your personal time, I would think about why you think about the way you think. Where do you think those thoughts originated from? And if you take the time to really truly think about it, you'll realize where it came from. And once you realize where it came from, that's the first step for you deprogramming. Because like you just said, people are pushing it and it's not people, it's men. And men are pushing that rhetoric to you, but they will never push that rhetoric to themselves. Men only push rhetoric that benefits them and them only. That's why you will never see a group of men get on a panel and talk about the ways that they can cater to and serve and worship their women. And if you do see one man get up there, he'll be shamed and be called a panderer and a simp and a punk because that is not something that men are ever going to do. However, it is very good for them to indoctrinate you with the belief system that you are supposed to submit, that you are supposed to let them lead you, that you are somehow incapable of doing something that you are more than capable of doing, which is leading yourself. And I implore you to think any type of man, and this is coming from somebody that's married as well, any type of man that ever tells you submits, gives you any type of submission or leadership conversations,
and that's
that's a
the
man that
thing.
you need to stay away from.
I don't feel like it's necessarily submission. That's the thing.
You use the word, not me.
I came
You
into
said
the
it.
live late though. I came into the live
Why
late.
did you use the
I was
word?
not
You used it.
saying
You're not listening.
Yes,
Listen.
it is. It's a little crazy. You use the word submission, not me. I would have never mentioned that because I don't believe that women should even think about that. What do I look like submitting to you because you have a penis? Get the fuck out of here. That's insane. And that's rooted in brainwashing. Like any man that thinks that I'm going to submit to him because he got a penis or I'm just going to submit to him because I'm a lady. No, I don't submit to nobody. So don't even come to me with that stupid stuff. But I'm saying though that you use that word, not me. So it's like you acting like
I
I
was
just pulled
muted.
submission out of
I
my
was
butt.
muted. What I'm saying is I
Yes,
said
I
something.
muted you. I
Because you
Oh,
were
muted you.
talking
okay.
over her.
Well, what I was saying was I came in the live late. All I was saying was I felt like at times we should be there for BMs because of I feel like they're highly targeted. Like
Black women are highly targeted.
I have to respond.
Oh, just one second, Kalandra. Black women
and
are highly
and
targeted.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't have to be there for us.
Okay, I'm asking you a question, Tay. Are black women highly targeted?
Most definitely.
Okay, so then
Definitely.
why is it that there's only a grace given to black men for them being targeted, but not black
And it
women for
shouldn't
them
be.
being
I'm not
targeted in
saying
the
that it
same way?
should be. I'm not
But it
saying that it
is
should
though.
be.
But that's what I'm saying it is. So do you know how crazy it is for you to advocate for doing
And I feel
something
like
for a group of men that won't do it for you?
we just don't see it every day though, or
See
it's
what
not
every day?
pushed on the media. like those men that do advocate for women or BM women being like heavily targeted.
Okay, so where have you seen the rallies, like in the marches for black femicide and things that strictly affect black women that you've seen a multitude of black men at?
But
Like you have seen black women there. Where?
do you get what I'm saying? You saying
No,
seen? Are you saying through the media? Because if through
no.
the media, they're not going to push
Okay,
it.
so do you know
Because
this
if
in
they
your real
push
life?
it, then it's going to
Okay, so
spread it,
let's
and
not
then
talk
it'll
about the
grow and
media,
grow and
Tay.
grow. They don't
Tay,
want
Tay,
that.
Tay, Tay, Tay.
Yes.
Let's not talk
Hmm.
about the media then. How many black men in your life, personally, do you know that wholeheartedly advocate for black women and strictly the things that black women go through? How many men do you know that are very vocal, aggressive advocates for black women and what black women go through?
I know quite a few.
Okay, so how many is quite a few?
I would say two hands at
Okay,
least.
and what have they done to show you that they aggressively advocate for black women?
Their daily living.
What's their daily living? What are they doing?
Bitch playing with us.
What are they
Oh
doing,
no.
Tay?
Okay, so I can go though. Because if I gotta be a bitch, why is this bitch
No,
playing?
don't call anybody the B word. I didn't hear anybody
I
call you the B word.
apologize. I was
Yeah, y'all
making.
please don't do that. Please don't do that. So go ahead, Tay.
Because I
I
feel
want to
like
know.
too, if I'm lacking knowledge in something, help me. You get what I'm saying? But you ain't
Yes.
gotta like
No, I got
disrespect
you.
me
I got
though.
you. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again, Tay. So my question is that what are the black men that you know you said on two hands that are advocating aggressively for black women? You said something about them living. So what exactly are they doing in their lives to aggressively advocate for black women and the things that affect black women directly?
Wait, I'm sorry. I just read a comment. I did not even like. I can't multitask. I didn't hear what you said. You said
Okay, so I'm asking you, you said that you knew a lot of black men on, you said at least enough for both hands that
hmm
aggressively advocate for black women and the things that affect black women specifically. And you said, I asked you, what are they doing? You said the way that you said something about living. So I said,
Yes.
exactly what are they
I feel
doing?
like I feel like those men are out of when I say the simulation, if you get what I'm saying, like I feel like they're not taking the bait on what is like being fed, if that makes sense.
No,
So
it doesn't. That's not advocating for black women. That's not aggressively advocating for black women. That's doing nothing for black women at all. And I knew that was going to be the case. And that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you, Tay. So if you
mhm.
talk to every black woman on this panel right now and you ask her how many black women, how many black men does she know personally that advocates aggressively for black women, they're probably going to say one to none because that's not happening. However, there are a lot of black women that, like yourself, that you're doing right now, that aggressively advocate for black men. And once again, what I'm saying to you is this: until black women stop doing something that the men in their community collectively will never do for them, they will never get over the entitlement that they feel towards black women. Because if someone knows that no matter how they treat you collectively, no matter what they say about you, no matter how disloyal and treasonous they are, no matter how much they put you on the back burner and only come around you when they need something, they know that you will always be there advocating for them, yelling and screaming for them, hooting and hollering for them, protecting their name. They will never respect you. That's what I'm trying to say. So
Okay,
what you're doing now is very
so before
harmful,
I
not
like
only to black women as a collective, but to yourself. It's
so
Let
also
me,
harmful to you.
before I leave though,
what Tay,
this
before you leave, before
mhm.
let me say this to
No,
you real
Jazz,
quick.
Jazz, no. Let me let her finish speaking. Go ahead, Tay.
I was just gonna say before I leave, I can't speak for all black men, but I'm just speaking for the one that, or I know that I was speaking for the one that I'm with. I understand that we're young, we're good. We both 100% disabled veterans, like ducks in a row. You get what I'm saying? Like two beautiful children. Like we're
Okay, once
progressing.
again, Tay, that doesn't make any sense. You're othering yourself. You're making this about you, and this isn't about you. This isn't about your husband and your kids. This is about the collective of black men. As I said earlier, you said you just got here. I'm married. I've been married for 16 years to a black man. He never been in jail, never been locked up, went to college, never did a single smoking of nothing because he was an athlete, a fantastic person. However, I know that he is not representative of the collective of black men. I know that. But to sit there and make it seem like your individual experience is representation of the collective of black men is disingenuous, to say the least. Because your experience and even my experience is not the collective of what black women have experienced and currently experience. And those things can be proved with statistics, Tay. So really, what are we saying? But she dropped y'all. I
I
didn't
wanted
drop
to
her.
say something to
I'm
her.
trying to
Okay,
respond.
let me say this
Hold on,
quick
I
because
gotta let Calandra go. I gotta let Calandra go. She was waiting. Go ahead, Calandra.
So she said a lot, and I do have a response. So when you're sitting up here and you're saying they're influenced by the music, they're influenced by this, black girls are influenced by the same thing. We hear negative music all the time. I hear music, listen to some type of music. I ain't never thought about going to rob no gas station. When you're saying things like that, you're justifying and you're giving them grace that they would never give to you. And that is my issue with some of us black women. When you're out here and you're giving them grace and you're saying they're influencing the media, we're represented horribly too. Like what? And we don't do that. I'm a teacher. I teach black girls and black boys. Black girls, 1 in 4 black girls are likely to be SA'd before the age of 18, plus 1 in 6 black boys. When we're talking about girls, black women, we experience racism and sexism, and we still rise above. Why is that? Because when it comes to women, we're held, it's no grace for us. And Tay, my issue with you is when you're giving them any type of grace, when I'm scrolling on TikTok at night and I'm on and I just watch lives and it's 100,000 likes and it's 10,000 like comments dragging single mothers. They give us no type of grace. It's never, well, it don't, no. You. They're holding us to the fire. And so no, I will not sympathize with men who do not give women grace, because at the end of the collective of them, yes, that is nice. You and Triggered are married and y'all found good ones. But at the end of the day, when they're dragging women like me, it is not grace, it's not sympathy, it's you. What you did wrong, it is your fault, and you're an evil person, and you need to be stoned, and it's you. When they're pushing that red pill content, these men out here who have red pill content, 100,000 fuck. These men are being pedestaled by men. That red pill is by men. And I do agree with you, Trigger. These black men are beyond safe, because the reality of it is, they're mad at their fathers for leaving and they're blaming their mother. And that is how we got into red pill content, because you're mad at your mom because she didn't marry your dad, and you feel like if she would have did that, you would have had a daddy. And so yes, they are beyond safe. And at the end of the day, when you're giving them grace from your situation, you cannot do that, because the majority of them are demonic, evil. They're baby daddies. They're not marrying these women and they're dragging them, because I have been on lives and I just watched. And when you ask them, how many kids do you have? 6. How many children, mothers? 4. Did you marry any of them? No, I wasn't marrying them. But you're dragging single mothers. And that's my issue. And I do agree with you, Trigger. We as black women have got to stop giving them grace, because they do not give it to us on no regards. The majority of them, red pill content. Look at how many millions of followers, black men, Kevin Samuels, men still praise him to this day. Like, what do you mean? And so when you're giving them grace because of your situation, that is not the collective with them. And I'm gonna say, I have a dad and a brother, and I will say they are not out here advocating for black women. And the problem with black men is they're never taught to be accountable, and it starts at youth. And one thing my aunt always said, if men were raised with the same values and morals as women, these men wouldn't be out here like this. But that's all I had to say.
All right. I appreciate you, Calandra. I definitely agree with everything that you said. And I did want to speak on 2 things that you said real quick, because Mr. No Good, I had no idea that this man was still in the chat. But when you mentioned about like black girls, being touched and stuff like that, he mentioned that had something to do with gender, and I guess he was trying to say that it didn't have anything to do with race as well. And I just want anyone that thinks that to understand that black women and black girls are in a different situation than other races and groups of women, not because of anti-blackness. And if you ever look up like ex trafficking, statistics, the fact that over 50% of ex trafficking victims are black women and black girls. And when they catch these men, and there's plenty of studies, y'all don't have to believe me, look this up, where the men say that they prey on black women because they perceive black women to be less than, and they won't get as much trouble for trafficking and kidnapping black women and black girls. So when black women are preyed upon by predators, definitely race plays a part as well, not just gender. So please get out of here with that goofy stuff, Mr. No Good. And that's my thing, is that I know that you don't know nothing about none of this. You never picked up a book. You never read a stat about black women to even say anything about anything. And that's my problem with y'all buckyhead, peanut head, bald headed, ugly, unattractive, bottom of the barrel, uneducated idiots like Mr. No Good that cannot string a sentence together to save his freaking life or his freaking nutsacks, is because we have these conversations and y'all talk about things like y'all know something and y'all don't know nothing at all. Y'all don't even barely know how to heat up a TV dinner in the microwave for 3 minutes and take the plastic off and stir it up and then put it back in there. That's the reason why it's difficult having a conversation with y'all, because y'all are so freaking stupid. And the second thing that I wanted to say is that this whole idea that black men have it so hard because of the circumstances of the world and how the world does the black men and the black boys, that is insane to me, because black girls and black women go through the exact same circumstances, just like Kalandra was saying. We go through the indoctrination of the media, movies, TV, music. We go through racism. We go through sexism. We go through men preying upon us. You have old buzzard men that prey on girls in high school and in middle school. I remember myself when I was in middle school. I think I was in summer school. I was in the 7th grade doing summer school, and it was the summer school that was around the corner from my grandma's house. And I will never forget this. There was a group of black men out there in the front of the school because they was doing some type of construction on the school, and they tried to holler at me like I was a grown woman. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was like 12 and super skinny, super bony. Not that that makes a difference as far as what you're looking like, but I was clearly an underage child. They was trying to holler at me, and I will never forget. I had all of these 17 magazines that I had got from the library. 17 magazines, Mad magazines, because I had all of these little Betty and Veronica comic books. And them men scared the crap out of me that I dropped my whole bag with my little lunch bag in it and ran to my grandma's house, dropped it, and booked it, because the way they were talking to me frightened me so much. That is a lot of things that happen to young black girls. I had to have my granddaddy bring me back up there so I could get all my stuff off of the doggone steps. All my magazines, all my stuff was still there though, but I had to get the stuff out, and it was a whole group of older black men, and I'm talking about like my daddy age, okay? So we got to stop acting like a lot of these things, a lot of these harsh circumstances are not happening to black girls as well, because it is. And to act like black men have it worse is rooted in a patriarchal mindset, is rooted in a mammy mindset, is rooted in a pick me mindset. And if you think that way, I'm not here to shame you, but I'm here to tell you that you've got to unpack that on your own time, because it looks absolutely embarrassing for you to do that as a woman. It's disgraceful. And in 2025, when you have a cell phone in your hand that will give you literally access to any type of information that you need, there's no reason why you should be walking around here stupid. No reason at all. No reason at all. You don't even have to go to college at this point to be educated. All you have to do, you can self-educate yourself on your own time. You don't have to go to college to do that. You can actually educate yourself with your phone. So to be uneducated at this stage of the game is just ridiculous. But anyway, I'm going to let Jazz speak, and then I'm going to go to D. Go ahead,
Yeah, so
Jazz.
I'm glad you came back up. Earlier when you and Triggered were talking, y'all talked about the media, right? Here's the thing, Tay. Social media is more powerful now than the media that you see on TV. More people are consuming social media than ever before, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, right? So those media platforms are bigger. This is why they're starting to muzzle what we can and cannot say on here on TikTok and other platforms because it social media has a bigger reach than the regular media, right? So for years, Tay, the black man has been painted as the bad guy. He's a thug. He's a gangster. He's a pedophile. He's all these horrible things, right? And
Yes.
right, okay, good. I'm glad. So see, me and you on the same page. I got a little pygmy in me right now. So that's how the black man has been painted, Tay, as this deadbeat father who don't take care of children and all these horrible things that the YT media has painted against the black man, right? Well, now that was for years, but now, Tay, we're in the era of what they call social media, where any black man on this planet can pick up a microphone and a camera and press record or go live and voice his opinion. And his opinion will get higher than the media that has portrayed him as a bad person. Well, Tate, I want you to pay attention to Kevin Samuels. Pay attention to Fresh and Fit. Pay attention to Black Guru. Pay attention to Moses. I want you to pay attention to the black men who have the
I
spotlight.
don't agree
Hold on,
with
hold on,
Kevin
hold on,
Samuels
hold on,
though.
Tate. 1 second.
I'll
One
give you
second,
one
because
more
I don't want
minute, Jazz.
to. Okay, I don't want to lose. I want to lose my train of thought. So here's the thing. We're in the era of social media to where now the black man has a chance to voice his opinion and debunk all of those things that have been said about him in the media for years. And how do black men spend their time with Tay? Talking about wigs, weaves, lashes, and baby mamas. Calling us 304s and asking what our body count is. So, with that being said, when she asked you how are black men protecting black women, they're doing the opposite. The microphone and the cameras and the gaze is on them, and they're spending all of their time bashing black women. They have been made it a career bashing black women. They call Kevin Samuels the Godfather. Like y'all said, that man ain't been here about 2 to 3 years. Black men start got him tattooed, his face tattooed on their body. So what you're doing, your low self-esteem is showing, Tay. You are a black woman, and understand you are a black woman, right?
And I
And so
feel
you
like I
don't.
don't agree
And
with
you
Kevin Samuels
hold
though.
on. What,
So I
I didn't
feel like
just, I
maybe
didn't
I
just,
misunderstood something.
I did not just name Kevin Samuels. I named quite a
Yeah,
few
I don't
people,
but I'm saying
right?
I
So
don't
here,
agree with what he does.
Jazz, he
hold
got
on.
1 minute left.
Yeah, so you got to stop interrupting me, Tay, so I can finish my 1 minute countdown.
Good. Okay,
So
okay.
the thing about it is, you got to love yourself more than you love a man, even the one you're married to. Understand that, because there's little black girls that's gonna grow up behind you, and how we're being treated is disgusting. You have set aside your own oppression to pick up theirs. And in your face, you are watching black men tear down the black woman, and that seems to not bother you. And how I know it doesn't bother you
I
is
don't
because
even be on
how
social media like that. So
I
I
need
don't
you.
watch it.
Tang, you are so male
All right,
identified. You are so male identified that you don't even know how to stop coming off mute and interrupting, which is
all right,
something that the
Jazz.
men do.
All right, Jazz.
I,
I got
I
you.
couldn't even land my plane, but
All right,
okay.
Jazz, you keep going over the minute, sis. Like, I'll give you another minute, but that's all you got.
No,
Okay?
it's okay. No, what I'm saying is I couldn't land my plane because she keeps interrupting. But
Go ahead, Jazz.
okay, so I'll say this: you gotta let that go, sis, because you're so male identified. That's why I keep lighting a match under you, and you keep coming off mute. You got to figure out who you are as a person and love her. Once you love her, you will see what all the other women on the panel are seeing, and we're trying to relay to you. You said you want to be taught. You said teach you, and that's what we're trying to do. Not to criticize you, but learn to love yourself, because this has been conditioned in black women to put the black man above herself, and that's a problem, because like Kalani said up there, we are doubly oppressed. We're women. We're dealing with sexism and racism, and yet we persevere through all of it. The black man has a defeated spirit and he likes his position. I land.
All right, I got you, Jazz. I'll just let Tay respond real quick if you wanted to respond.
So I don't feel like it's about, I feel like, yes, it is about loving yourself, but I also feel like in a relationship, you have to support the one who supports you, if that makes sense. I'm not saying put him above you, but if he got your back, have his.
You know what, Tay? I just respectfully, I think you may be being just a slightly bit disingenuous because that's not where you was coming from at first. I don't think any woman would say
I said I came in, maybe I came in at the wrong part of the live to where I misunderstood what y'all were talking about.
maybe, but I'll just say that. Then I'll just take you at your word. But nobody has any problem here on the live if you're in a relationship with a man and y'all are locked in. And he's really loving you, respecting you, treating you the way that you deserve to be treated, and you're treating him in kind and respecting him and building him up. I don't think that anyone has any problem with that type of behavior. We right there. The prompt is right there. So I feel like you didn't read the prompt that of what it says here because you
So
said
I
a lot of
read the
things that
one with the
yeah.
woman. I read the one with the, I think when the woman was up there. But when I came in or whatever, I think somebody was saying that they dated like out of their race or whatever. But then they had sounded, so pretty much they said they dated outside of their race and they were saying things about black men. And that's when I was saying, well, we have to sometimes pour into our black men because of what they're targeted by, if that makes sense.
Okay, so my thing is so you saw a picture of white women where it said that like black women want to be white women and all of these other things which I
Or it
know.
said like stop coming for them or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So I know that
Hmm.
you know a black woman didn't make that prompt. So in defense of seeing a prompt that was bashing black women, your response was to say that we need to pour into black men. You don't think that that shows that there's a problem there, that your mode of behavior was
And
to
I don't feel like
uplift
you can
black men?
save every black man, but I feel like the one
But why
that you
wasn't
with.
but this is what I'm saying though. Why wasn't your first move to say to do something in
Yeah.
protection of women that look like you
Like
or a black woman? You don't think that's weird? Like, and I didn't drop this lady yet again,
I
but
know she. Yeah,
that's
she
weird.
left.
Like, so you see this now, this is the insanity of this woman, Tay. You see a prompt that you admit that you know that is negative about black women, right? And you see black women discussing it. And you know you're not an idiot. So you know that the prompt wasn't started by a black woman. But instead of talking about that and trying to say something to uplift black women, what you do is go put on your mammy moo to defend black men instead and to talk about we need to uplift our black men because you hear a black woman talking about the fact that she is married out of her race and is happy. What? Like that is that not illogical behavior or what? And I don't know. I don't know. That's literally nuts, Tay. If you're still in here, that's nuts, sis. I tried to be as nice and as impartial as possible, but that's really an insane behavior. But Kalandra had wanted to say something and she had been waiting. And then I'll let D and Zora speak. Go ahead, Kalandra.
Just had one response to that man. First of all, when you're looking at like I'm gonna use celebrity situations. When you're looking at the commentary about black girls who were essayed by R. Kelly versus this whole D4VD situation, even when you look at that, even black girls who are essayed as children, you still have black men saying they're fast, blaming it on them. But when you have this Hispanic girl, is oh, she was manipulated, and oh, she was a sweet little girl. But you don't feel that for black women. And that was my point to him. And at the end of the day, for you to get in those comments and say it's in you, that means that you're admitting. I know you have a third grade reading level like most Americans do, but that means that you're admitting that black men are trash and that's in y'all and it's not coming out. You prove my point exactly, because for you to say that a song can convince you to go rob the local gas station, at that point you can't be saved.
Okay. You know what I also find to be crazy is that a man that would actually call his name Mr. No Good, that is something that you chose on your own. Nobody forced you to take that name. Nobody made you take that name. Nobody coerced you to take that name. A man that will willingly call himself Mr. No Good, arguing any type of points of men having a good nature or a kind nature or somehow altruistic nature is insane to me. You're part of the problem, player. Name exactly. Names have meaning. People, when you think about naming yourself online, that is a thought process that you go through and say, why am I going to choose this name? So a man that would knowingly call himself no good, what does that mean you are? Exactly. You're exactly that. But let me go over here to D and then Zora. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes Z. Try to stick to the time, D. Excuse me about that.
Can Zora go first? Because I'm still collecting my thoughts.
Okay, no problem, no
Yep.
problem, D.
Nah, not
Okay.
trying to go last, D. I want to say I want to apologize to. I was really playing. I really was. I thought I said it in a whisper, so I apologize. I forgot you don't use cuss words, so I apologize. I was really playing with her, but she was playing with us for real. And I think it's interesting that she left that when she left. I think it's interesting that she couldn't stay on mute when Jazz Doll was talking to her, because it's something about when you're talking to the person's underneath structure that they can't take. Like, it's one thing to talk to them like as if they're making sense. It's another thing when you go straight to the thing. And when you kind of illuminated Trig, like her, where she entered the conversation and what actually bothered her, then she has to leave. And she said it. She actually voiced it before she left. She came off mute, was like, gotta go. Okay, so yeah, so now we're back to Jazz Doll saying you have to sit with that, like to sit with it, because you are making choices. And she came in here literally saying the first thing was like, oh, we have to pour into them and we can't leave them behind. That's what she said. So she does know that they are behind. I found it interesting too that she said, specifically when you asked her about submission and you asked her lead where, she got quiet and she's like, oh yeah, which is she's saying that her man, I didn't even know she had a husband, because she was saying that he's not in a position to lead her anywhere. Did I put that together wrong, or did anyone else catch that? Because I
I
heard when
agree.
you,
I agree.
okay.
I did hear that. I did hear
Okay,
that.
I thought so. I was like, you said lead where, and you have a real interesting way of walking people down. I already told you that, Trigger. It's real elegant and very raw at the same time. I was just like, okay. She said, oh, you're right. You know what? I'm not going to lie. So you have a man and a newborn and a child, and you're taking care of all of them as if they're all children. That's what you said. So it's like, it's weird that you are trying to push back, and you say you can know 20 BOK men who, you know what I'm saying, who fit some kind of standard, but you can't even say what they advocate with except they in their daily lives, meaning that you don't see them contributing to the femicide rate. That's all you said. That because they don't contribute in front of you to the femicide rate, then they're advocating for BOK women. So which brings us right back to Jazz Doll's point and right back to your literal prompt, because she didn't read it, but why she demonstrated? Why do oh well, I changed to black women have such low self-esteem? I'm sorry. That's how she kind of like. So it was just, I don't know. And I had some, love to give her, but strong, straight up, same way that y'all were pushing her, and she would have left too probably. But like, yeah, you don't get to do that. Come into a room and just start swinging on behalf of BOK men, and you can't even answer how they swing on your behalf, except that they live their daily lives. That's
And
all I have to say. Thanks for having me up and having this topic, Trig.
oh, no problem, Zora. And like you guys, I agree with y'all. I knew that she was on some BS, but I just, but for people that when I upload these like lives to YouTube, a lot of times people don't read the comment. Well, they can't see the comments, so they don't know what's going on in context. And then sometimes people will be like, "Oh, why are you so harsh on them? Blah blah blah. You should let them speak." So I always think it's good to let somebody speak so that they can reveal who they are, so everybody can see it. So it will be without, you can see their actions without question. Like, it's right there. That's the reason why when I make my videos, when I'm trying to make a point, if I can find the person saying it out of their own mouth, sometimes it's certain videos I've made where it's taking me like 2 days, 3 days to run down a clip of the person saying it out of their own mouth, because it's always better when somebody say something out of their own mouth, then it removes any doubt as to what their intentions are. So I think we all knew, you know what I'm saying, what she was on. But yeah, I was trying to get her to expose that with her mouth. That way we can, so that she would stop hiding behind that we're misinterpreting her somehow. You know what I'm saying?
You did a great job of that. And that's how you paint a picture. That's for Mr. No Good who doesn't know how to use words like metaphor. That's how you paint a picture for an audience who's not able to read the comments. You paint a picture just like Trigwin. That's your first lesson. Now go get a library card, babes.
You know what? I tell them all the time that they should go ahead and get a library card. It's free. Like, it's free 99. It doesn't cost you anything. You get a library card at your local library. You can go ahead and look up at any subject that you need, any topic that you need, any type of education. But I think that Mr. No Good should start with vocabulary and comprehension. And I think that he should start getting those very small books, you know, the ones that they give to like the first and second graders, the readers that have the very, very big, huge letters. I think that's what you should start first, Mr. No Good, because I know respectfully that your education level ain't even at third grade. So you need the big super jumbo books. You might even need the one that still got the pictures in it. But if you upgrade it to beyond the pictures, when they just have the super jumbo readers, like that's where you need to be at. Like, what is it? What's one of the books that my daughter like, the Mr. Underpants or whatever, that I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
got like that. You need to start with them type of books for
He can
real.
use his finger. And
Yeah,
you know,
he
one last thing I want to
definitely
say.
uses his
Arthur
finger.
books. He needs to start with those Arthur books. Those
Oh,
levels. Those levels that they have. I'm a language arts teacher, so
Dog,
I know.
cat, pet,
oh
black,
my
white.
goodness. He need to do green eggs and ham. Green eggs
Yes.
and ham. That's something he needs.
Yeah, well,
Can I
llama, that can rap. I want to say one last thing.
let me
I
Hold
felt some
oh,
on.
I'm
kind of way
sorry.
about. Oh,
Yeah,
I had
go
one more
ahead.
last
Go
thing,
ahead.
Jazz, and I'm going on mute. I really feel about that story you told me. Because I felt like I was the 12-year-old girl that you described, body type and all, and just the fact that you had a library card. It was such a pleasant thing to know that you cared about your education in mind at that level, and I really appreciate that. And I'm really sorry that those men did that, but that's my experience too. That's the common experience. So I don't
Girl,
even
I
talk to them when
love
they
to
talk like
read.
that,
I love to read, and I always have,
and it
and I was
shows.
super into books when I was a kid. I used to get them
Yeah.
little magazines. I used to get them little books. I used to read like R.L. Stein books a lot. I used to read them so much, man. But yeah, I was like, I remember that day. Like, even though now I'm in my early 40s, I still remember. I was so terrified and so scared that them grown men, and the way they was looking at me too, it like terrified me, because it was like, lust filled, and I just was scared. You know what I'm saying? And I think most black girls have a story like that, to be honest with you. But I gotta go up here to D. I forgot. And I'll make sure I get to you too, Jazz Doll. Let me get to D though, and Presh. Go ahead, Miss D.
I don't even know where to start, but so oh god, because it was just so much. But no, first I want to apologize to Zora for calling her the B word or whatnot, because like I was looking at some of the prompt, but I didn't look at all of it, and that's my bad for not reading it. So I want to apologize, like
I
seriously.
accept. Now we just have an apology party. I accept. No problem. I didn't take it personal.
I mean, I'm just like, okay, why is she calling me a pick me? Because I'm like, that's why I was like, okay, that's. And I've been on a panel with you before too, and I'm like, I follow you, and I'm like, how she give me a pick? I've never given
I'm
pick me.
sorry. I'm sorry.
That's no, 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 no,
Yes.
no. That's no, it's okay. I was just like, I've been on. Maybe she ain't been on a panel with me before. I was like, I never have give. I be the one that call out the pick me's, like talk about them like a dog. But I get where you were I mean, like clearly, I didn't read the thing, so I get why you said what you said. But I'm just like, I ain't no pick me. But yeah, that was a lot. I don't even know what to say. That was just very male centered, and I don't know. I don't even know what to say with that. It was just so much. Y'all pretty much said everything. I mean,
No
Yeah,
problem, no problem. I got you. I got you.
yeah,
If you want to say something else a little later, I got you. I'll come back to you.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm about to end it pretty soon anyway. But I
I
appreciate
just
you.
wanted to apologize because I can own my stuff and say when I'm wrong and say, hey, I didn't read that and I was wrong. So
Okay, no problem, no problem. I appreciate it. I think that
I'll take my accountability.
yeah, that's no problem. I think there's nothing wrong with conflict, and I always think that it's good. Like if we as black women, we do have conflict in a public place and we go ahead and resolve it and we're able to move forward because conflict is
Yeah,
not
because
no
that
normal.
apology
Yeah.
should be as loud as your,
Yeah, I think conflict is healthy, and I think
Mhm.
that for people to see how to resolve conflict in a healthy manner is always good because some people don't know how to do it. So I always think that it's good for people to see that we as black women, we can have a difference of opinion, we can debate, we can go back and forth, but at the end of the day, we can keep it together and still realize that we're sisters and come together at the end of the day. So I think it's great to be able to showcase that. But let me go ahead and go here to Presh, and then lastly, I'll let Gabrielle speak, and then I'll let Jastoff finish it out. Go ahead, Presh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, answering the thing that's on the screen right now about why do black men have low self-esteem, racial self-esteem, I feel like it's due to, I feel like there's many factors that play into it, but I feel like one of them is the social hierarchy due to white supremacy of obviously black women and black men being at the bottom racially due to anti-blackness, and also white women and white men being at the top. So when someone has low self-esteem, they want to get to the closest thing of what is at the
I
top.
can't hear you properly. You're a black woman, right? I can't tell through the accent a little bit.
Yeah, I am a black woman.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I
okay. Go
am a black
ahead.
woman. Okay, great. So obviously they want to get to the highest, the thing that is closer to the top, which is a white woman. So you see a lot of black men that date outside their race due to feeling low self-esteem or feeling not enough, and they want to feel like the closest to the top, which is a white man. So what do? They get a non-black woman, or if they can, get a white woman. So I feel like one of the reasons for low racial self-esteem for a black man is due to the social construct of white supremacy, and also anti-blackness as well. So that's what I wanted to say on that.
Okay. All right. All right. I got you. I got you. I mean, I think that anti-blackness definitely plays a part, but I feel like sometimes to just make it down there to anti-blackness is almost to give black men an out because black women undergo the same type of anti-blackness, the same experiences, the same all of that, and they don't respond in such a treasonous, self-hating nature. So I think that at some point, like we as black people have got to acknowledge that something else also is at play here beyond just anti-blackness and just, the hierarchy or whatever of white tea men being at the top and all of that other stuff. There's something else at play here because black women are never affected in that same way. Black women are not acting like that. They're not, even the black women that date out aren't acting like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that maybe we could talk about that at a different day, but I do think that that's something that we should talk about because black women ain't doing it and they're not doing it like that. So it's something more than that. You know what I'm saying? Um yeah. But I only dropped you, Press, because somebody else was in the box and I was just trying to clear everybody else out before I get out of here, Press. But you definitely can come back. You're definitely welcome, Press. Go ahead, Jay, and then I'm gonna get to the rest of the ladies and end it out. I only added you up because I just want to I was curious to hear what you had to say. What you have to say.
So when it says why do black men have such low racial self-esteem? Why is it what exactly do you mean by that?
Low racial, low self-esteem, uplifting other races above their own, talking about the women that they come from, their hair, talking about their own hair, talking about, oh, I'm with this other race of woman, her hair is straight and silky, oh, I'm looking to have light-skinned babies, things of that nature.
Do we say that we want light skinned babies?
Absolutely. I
I
have
know because
video
I don't
footage
I
of
don't
men saying that. So yes, absolutely, you do.
Well, from the black, because I'm from England and stuff.
Yes,
So I
there's
just know
plenty
what
of
black men.
self-hating black men in England. Plenty. I just saw what's the red-headed ginger guy that was over there telling black women to take off their wigs and weaves that they were nappy-headed, and he had a silky-haired Indian woman that was gonna come in there and look way better than them because of her silky hair. So yes, absolutely. It happens where you're at
He,
as
he,
well.
he, he actually didn't say anything about the nappy hair.
Yes, he
He
did.
was actually
Yes, he
cutting.
did. He said that the
He did.
Indian woman had soft, silky hair, and he said, "Look at your hair. Take your hair off. Let me
He,
see what your hair looks like. I have my Indian woman coming here with her long, soft, silky, straight hair." That's exactly what he said. So, what are we talking about? He did say that.
he didn't disrespect their natural
He
hair.
did disrespect their natural hair by saying that
He
the
didn't.
other woman is a better looking woman because her hair is soft and silky, is definitely putting down their texture of hair. Not to mention that he has that same texture of hair on top of his own head. So, what's the difference? That it's okay on a black man, but not on a black woman? That's not low racial self esteem? What are we talking about?
Yeah, we heard him
Well,
say
when
it.
you actually listen to Ginger J, he was actually retaliating to them. They
No,
actually
he wasn't
disrespected him first.
retaliating. He's a low self-esteem having probably been booty hole been opened while he spent all of that time in prison. I seen went to his page, all of his booty shots, him taking pictures from the back, all of
What's that
that.
got to do with anything?
It has something to do with the fact that he probably hates black women because deep down inside, he wishes that he could be one because he was one when he was locked up.
No,
Yeah, that's
he
what it has to
doesn't
do with it.
he
I mean,
doesn't
do you
like
want
black.
to let me just say this, Jay? What did you come up here for? Do you want to respectfully? I'm gonna get a little vulgar here, y'all. Do you want to suck Ginger Jay's dick? If you want to suck his dick, you can't
No,
suck it
no,
here. It's nothing but women here.
come on,
But
sis.
what you
We
can
don't have
do,
to do
but
that.
what you can
We don't
do
have to
though,
do that.
Jay, goodbye. What you can do is you can go on his page, look Ginger Jay up, send him a DM and say, "Hey, Ginger Jay, can I suck it or not? Will you let me suck it?" I think he will. He's been in prison for over a decade. That means that Bucci cat has definitely been tampered with. That definitely means he's been in there sucking on fleshy lollipops. So he probably will let you do the same. So you can go over there and do that. All right? I don't understand what you're talking to us. We all have kitty cats over here. We don't have anything for you to suck on, respectfully. At least not what you want to suck on. So go do that, Jay. And the fact that you say that I prove why he doesn't like black women, do you think I care what you think? Hold on. Oh, just hold on. J. Look at yourself, Jay. You look like you got plenty of grinder applications. You look like you do plenty of sucking. Do you think I care what you think? Your eyes is dead. Them are the type of men that put you in the dirt. I say that in my videos all the time. If anybody knows, y'all know I say when people got senpaku eyes, dead eyes, eyes that don't have any emotion, those are the type of black men that you need to stay away from because they're busted, broken, and disgusted. And a lot of times they're DL like you, Jay. Y'all are also DL because so y'all have all of this rage to women because secretly you want to be one. But you didn't get a vagina, so now you're upset at vagina carriers. So I don't understand what was the purpose of you coming here. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere with them DSLs, all right? And go do what those lips were made to do, which is be wrapped around Ginger J's. You know what? Now you're blocked. Goodbye. All right, so let me go ahead and go down here to the bottom. Sorry, you guys. I just blocked him because I knew he was going to report me for after I said all of that. But it's just like, I'm sorry, you guys. I apologize for being so vulgar. But it was just like the lady that was up here, Tay, is already gave me to my meter of like fed upness. So like I'm already, it's too far. That's why I only do lives for 2 hours because it gets to be too much. Let me go down here to Gabrielle and then I'll let Jazz Doll finish it out. Go ahead, Gabrielle. Sorry about that. Sorry.
No, I mean, I really don't think you have anything to apologize for. You really did nothing wrong. I mean, it is my opinion that between the Tay lady who was up here and like the guy who, Jay or whatever his name was, who just came up here, I mean, I really think both of those people are a prime example of everything we've been talking about. Like, I mean, I was blown away by, I think her name was Tay. I think she was saying that, oh, we need to like help be okay men. And I know she said she had kids or whatever. And I was actually taken aback by the fact that she's 27, the same age as I am, and just has this like very male centered mindset, despite, what we are seeing, coming from males in this day and age. But yeah, I mean, I really, this is why I always say I just feel like women who are male centered in 2025 really can't be helped or can't be rehabilitated, because there were several ladies on the panel who spoke to her. Yeah, Kalantra, she definitely does give toxic boy mom pick me energy. But there were several women on the panel who spoke to her, and, were, I think, very polite to her for the most part, and tried to explain why she was, wrong in what she was saying. And she just kept doubling down. And then when, the other ladies on the panel kept pushing back on what she was saying, then she did like a bait and switch, and she denied coming on here and opening with the, oh, we need to help males, we need to, uplift them or whatever. And I just, the more I listened to her, I just kind of got the impression that she did not really want to get the point. Like, I saw she dropped down a couple of times and she came back up on the live, and it's like, to me, she does not strike me as someone who was like really on the panel because she wanted to have, an open and honest conversation. I definitely think that she probably has sons and probably sees every single BLK male in her sons, or vice versa. And, that is probably a huge reason as to why she's male centered and why she kept interrupting, the other ladies on the panel here. But yet she was saying that we need to basically, play defense for males and give them all this grace and these excuses that they would never return if the tables were turned. I mean, I really think everyone on the panel was really patient with her, more so than I would have been, because it's just like, at this point, I really think there's just so much we can see, especially in the United States, about what is happening with the collective of males, to see why, quote unquote, uplifting them, or, I think helping them is what she said, why that's not the way to go. So that's all I have to say. I really do. I think all the ladies on the panel made great points. And again, hosts, I think you were great as well. And I definitely don't think you have anything to apologize for.
All right, thank you so much, Gabrielle. I will tell you that I really did try with Tay. I know that there are a lot of women that feel like, pick me's are beyond saving, but you never know like what may trigger someone to like actually think and make a different move. I'm thinking about like my first marriage, when I left my husband or whatever, because he was indeed wilding. He's the worst human being that I've ever had the unfortunate experience of coming across. But I remember one day he said something to me that triggered me to really be down the line of divorcing him. He was like, yeah. If I treat you so bad, why you still here? Why you still here? You talk about me put my hands on you and this and that. If it was that bad, why you still here? And I had to sit back and sit in that and think like, you're right. You're right. Yeah. And I left. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, sometimes it takes like one thing for someone to say something to you, to click something into your mind that will make you change your whole reality. Which is the reason why sometimes it is like women that, you feel like, hey, we should just write them off, is why I just try to see if I can talk to them. Now, of course, sometimes it degrades to the point to where it's like, okay, heifer, we can't talk, you're crazy. But I do at least try to make the effort, because you never know. Something, they may not like what you said in the moment, like how Jazz Doll was, getting on her and telling her the truth. Maybe, she didn't like it in the moment. And she like, oh, forget her. But maybe she might go back and think about it at a later date. She might or she might not. But, at least we tried. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what I try to do. I try, for the most part. But sometimes if I feel like you're beyond trying, I won't. But most of the times I do try. So that's all I'm saying. And once again, you guys, as far as Jay, I honestly, I feel embarrassed for using the D word on here and everything. I really do try to keep my language clean in my personal life and also my online life. But it was just like he was glazing so much. It was just like, you glazing him. Do you want to go on and get on your hands and knees? Are you trying to toot up the Bucci cat? Are you trying to, toot it up for him? Like, what's the purpose? Like, did you come up here for? Did you need to defend your boyfriend? Like, I don't know. Anyway, let me stop. Go ahead, Jazz Doll.
Yeah, because he definitely was tripping. That Ginger J, whatever his name is, the ginger dude that went viral, he literally has videos on his profile where he's literally only talking about his booty and hips and how he's thick like a
I saw
woman.
that.
He got mama hips. Like this man literally has videos like that. No, no kidding, no joking. He literally has videos like that. So he's definitely, unfortunately, ladies, unfortunately, the lady Tay who was up here, she's the majority of the black women in our community. And that's unfortunate, right? The everything that we were talking about with black men, women like her are why they are way they are. The boy mom, like y'all said, the boy moms, the coddling, all of those things that we were talking about earlier, she embodies it. And her spirit didn't sit right with what we were saying. That's why she kept interrupting, and that's why she kept jumping down off the panel. Because it didn't sit right with us. We was getting to that spirit, and we were lighting a match up under her, and it made her uncomfortable. Her cognitive dissonance was not allow her to accept what we were saying. And part of being a mammy, part of being a pygmy is living in a fairy tale about black men. So when you shine a light on that, they cannot accept it. She couldn't accept it. And so that's why she kept running. But unfortunately, she is the majority of our community. That's the majority. Women like her. Our mothers were like her. Our grandmothers were like her. And they suffered. But because you put the black men above yourself, you're willing to suffer and go through all of that heartache and pain. And so if I'm closing out, I will say it again. Love yourself before you love any man. You are the mother of the universe. You gave birth to society. That makes you powerful. So love who you are. Everything about yourself is unique and magical and powerful, and no other group of women have what you have. Despite everything that we've been through, look how we've persevered through all of it. So keep being strong, keep loving yourself, and don't let no man tear you away from your goals in life and who you trying to be. Because they not it. The way Jay came up here caping for another man, they gonna always do that. They'll never cape for a woman. Something is mentally off with the black male's mind. Something is mentally off with him. I'm gonna say this and I'll land. When I was in my early 20s, I watched YT women treat black men like they were nothing, and black men catered to them. They still got the same black men at the end of the day. However, I watched them chase after those women only because those women did not pedestalize black men. White women don't pedestalize black men. White women don't call black men kings. White women don't say, I will only be with a black man. He got to be a black man. Oh, I love my black man. White women don't do that. No other race of women do what you do, black women, and it does not serve you. Treat them like they're peasants and watch you see a shift in their behavior. I land.
All right, all right. I got you, Jazz Doll. And truth be told, Jazz Doll just gave out a secret that I don't know if all black women know. But honestly, to be extremely nice to black men, is where you messed up at. I really do believe that black men, even the quote unquote nice black men, um, respect black women they know that they can't play with. The ones that's all like, oh, those are the ones that get walked all over. I swear, like, after my first marriage, I think I told everybody I was raised in a religious cult and had no outside connection with anyone and definitely no boys. So when I got married, I was a virgin, had no experience with men at all, and I was extremely nice. And I will tell you the most freeing moment that gave me produced great results with men as I exited that marriage and moved on as an adult into the dating world moving forward were not being nice. So all of that coddling and putting black men on the pedestal, it absolutely gets you nowhere. Now, I'm not saying get in a relationship with a man of any race and then treat him like absolute garbage. That's not what I'm saying. But that whole putting people on the pedestal and acting like, how can I serve you, king? That is not something that you should be doing as a woman. That is something that the man should be doing for you. You are the prize, not him, and you should be acting like it at all times. Period. The best results that you're ever going to get is when you approach a man and he knows that you are the prize. You are the one that is supposed to be all of that. And he is the He's the one that's supposed to be falling in line with you. And I don't care what nobody says. I really do believe that, honestly. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Cause I don't want people to think I don't want to give y'all too much toxic traits. But what Jazz Doll said is absolutely correct. I don't know if she meant it the way that I meant it, but I agree with her. And I think that just goes right hand in hand with it. Like, if you being Mrs. Nice, oh, you are a goofy. Please stop it, sis. Come back and tell me how that works out for you. And then I will tell you, the most women that are successful in relationships that have men that don't be out cheating, don't be putting their hands on them, don't be doing these things, take care of them and all of that. Ask those men, do they woman play with them? And tell me what you will hear. Man, yeah, she don't play. Like, because yeah. Y'all get what I'm saying. Anyway, let me go over here to D, because D said that she had to say something before we got.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put y'all hit something that was real. So I had a conversation with my own mom, telling her about the choices that she made affecting me, right? Mind you, I wasn't disrespecting her. I was talking to her like a human being and saying, when a mother doesn't show their child certain things in their relationships, when they see their mother being treated a certain way, that affects us, right? And I was like, Mom, I never seen a guy tell you they love you. Like, I may have like heard you say it or whatever, but I remember the boyfriend she dated, and my parents were married, right? But they got divorced, but mind you. So I recall her dating this guy, and he was cheating on her like a dog. And everybody knew it because it was at high school, another high school in my city. And I knew about it. That was embarrassing. And so, like, even though I've dated great guys, I've been engaged before or whatever. And mind you, I was not ready to be married or whatever, but I know that they set the tone for great guys. Like, they were great ones. So I know what to expect, what not to expect. And I had some positive male figures in my life, even though I may have not had my dad in my life like that. So I told her, I was like, Mom, like, you are a pick me. Like, seriously, what's a pick me? And I said, I'm just letting you know you're a pick me. You exhibit that behavior, and it's very male centered. And then before I could even before she did exactly what that girl did to y'all, like, was cutting me off every step of the way. And not only that, but she decided to say, grandma dated a married man. I said, Mom, and grandma was wrong. But however, that was your experience. And every time she would always say, well, my mom didn't do this. So, I said, but Mom, it don't matter. When you have children, you be the change that you want to see that you did not have. And that is not right to blame that on me. And that's what she did. And she was just like, I'm sorry. And then it made sense when we were in therapy. She went to therapy and she's with me or whatever. And she was like, oh, well, I got married because my friends got married. I said, Mom, you could have took that to the grave. I never need to know that, because you are the people I talk about all the time that get married for other reasons and want to follow people, easily influenced. And I'm like, I didn't need to know that my mom was that. I could have lived without knowing that. I really could have. And so, like, I have to unlearn things. I have to fix that child inside of me, that inner child, because my mom did not nurture me like that. She was busy working jobs. I give her that much grace, right? But she also was too busy trying to chase after a man trying to get a ring. And what she didn't realize is that played a role in my life too. And not only that, but she allowed one of those men to put their hands on me and to, whoop me. And that shouldn't have been the case. And my grandmother stood up and said, that's not right. She would do things like yell at me and make me share my toys, my girl toys with boys, right? It was just, and my godmother told her about herself too. Everybody told her, but she would paint this narrative to her side of the family, which they're my village, but they got to unlearn some stuff too. That I was just like, oh, I was a horrible, like I did not listen at times or whatnot. And that was not the case. She did not like the truth. And it came out over last week when I had to tell her, I said, Mom, you really have to stop doing this. And I mean this with love. But the whole time she was doing exactly what that girl was doing to y'all. And I was like, that's why things will never change, because you're not trying to accept and decenter yourself and realize and understand that you were the problem. You were. And you have to deconstruct this. And when people say, "Oh, you should have kids," I don't want kids. I don't, because I don't want them to have to ever deal with the stuff that I dealt with, and I don't want them to ever be around her or my dad, because like they basically failed me. But I'd get therapy to deal with it. But still, it's just I could not ever be a pick me. It's ridiculous. Yeah, male centered,
I
and
know
I
you're.
land a
I know you're.
plane.
I know you're closing up. Triggered.
Yeah.
I'll only be 1 second because I want to piggyback off what she just said. My mom wasn't necessarily a pick me, but she was male identified, and black men walked on water, in her world, right? And it was like this for years. And there was nothing, you can't say anything negative about a black man. Now, if she want to talk about black women, we can sit there and talk for about 2 or 3 hours, right? And so, again, back in the era of Kevin Samuels, and then here came TikTok, and all of these panels and videos and think pieces of from black men bashing black women. So, you know what I did? I said, you know what, mama? Download TikTok. And see, I'm the baby of 8. I got 6 older brothers, and all of them walk on water. Me and my sister, yeah, we all right. But our brothers, yeah, they're a perfect 10, right? So I said, Mom, download TikTok, and she downloaded it. And she was like, well, what you want me to get on TikTok for? I was like, girl, just be on TikTok. It wasn't a good 24 hours. She come calling me. What's wrong with these black men? Why are they talking about us like this? What are they doing? Why are they saying all this horrible stuff? That was about 3 or 4 years ago. Now I can't be my mama calling me, child, these old sorry ass black ass. Like, she is totally, it was a shift, and I'm so happy for that, because it was crazy how male identified she was, and I had to talk her out of it. It was a hard process. It was a very hard process. And now me and my mom are trying to get my sister. Like, we're trying to get my sister or whatnot, because my sister, oh my gosh, she made some bad decisions, and she's probably my sister probably is in the chat. But with that being said, yeah, I relate to what you were just saying, because my mom she's from the old school, and you know how those older women are. So yeah, I definitely have to help my mom get reconstructed, because again, she's a Christian as well, and so she started talking about, well, God say we'll help make, and the man come before the woman, and I was like, oh my God, mama, you gotta stop. But that's all I want to say.
All right. I got you, Jazz. Kalandra said she has something to say real quick, and then I really do gotta go, y'all. Then I really do gotta get out of
I
here.
just wanted to. You didn't have to give me 3 minutes. I just want to say I realized my mom was a pick me, and this is why I don't think pick me should have children. Because when my sister told her about things that her husband had did to her, and my mom like unalive triggered, like on her unalivement bed, because my mom was in the hospital for 3 weeks before she passed away, did not believe my sister. Like, she lying, she has disabilities, they make up stories. Like, my mom unalive trigger not believing my sister. And that's what I say. Pick me should not have children, because my mom, her husband dogged her, like cheated on her, mistreated her, hit her, put his hands on her, and my mom unalive not believe her. And that's when I realized my mom was a pick me, because I was the one that turned everybody into the police. But my mom was mad at me. Like, my mom unalive not speaking to me, because I was like, you wrong. Like, you wrong. And that's why I say, yes, my mom was a pick me. And the way she treated my brother, my mom had 1 son and 3 daughters triggered. The way she treated my brother versus how she treated us, that's why I say, like, my mom loved my brother because the type of men she was dating wasn't good. But the way she loved my brother could do no wrong in her eyes, trigger. Even when he was getting in trouble, could do no wrong in her eyes.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Kalandra. I think that's like actually a terrible experience that you've relayed. But I am glad that you did share, because like I said, and just like how Dee also said something traumatizing, I think that y'all stories can help other women, and it may not be a woman in the chat, but it might be a woman that's on YouTube they hear it, or a woman that's just lurking in here outside, out, when they don't click on it, but they just listen on the outside. It could be women that listen to it that are affected, and that helps them in their own lives. So I just want to tell you guys, thanks so much for sharing. And I just want to say I appreciate all the Black women, all of you guys that came up here and told me y'all stories and gave me y'all perspectives. I appreciate y'all. I respect all of you guys greatly, and thank y'all so much for just coming up here and tell and being with me, because I know y'all could be in a million other lives. Y'all could be with a whole bunch of different people, but I do really appreciate that y'all take the time to come in my space, and we can all talk to each other and all uplift each other, and we can always talk about these dudes and tear them up and roast them too. I think that's a great bonding experience for us as Black women. But anyway, I appreciate y'all so much. And I just want to say I love every single solitary one of you guys. And I really think that y'all are so intelligent, like just so intelligent, so thoughtful, so just powerful. Like y'all are just amazing. And I respect all of y'all the utmost. And thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for blessing me with y'all presence. And I really, 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 truly do mean that. I really feel blessed and honored to be in y'all presence. All right. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a great Tuesday. All right. Bye-bye.